Alrighty, folks, and welcome to tonight's game on the AEL Uni League for Season 2. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk by Blue Panda, as you can see, and we've got a great game tonight in the upper bracket between GIGACHADELAIDE and UOW Esports. How are we feeling?
Look, it's gearing up to be a hot one. Both teams coming through, having picked up a 2-0 in their first round. These are two of the best-looking teams in the competition as well. Going head-to-head, like it's almost sad that we have to see one of them knocked down into the losers bracket.
Yeah, certainly. I can agree with that one. These teams have both been so incredible to watch, and a bit of friendly banter as well between the two teams. Definitely know that a couple of them are friends with each other. So the chat itself right now is already just full of that pre-game banter, and I definitely feel like this will be a spicy series. It's always going to be fun when you do see this kind of long series in the knockout stage amongst friends.
Yeah, look, coming into this, the team's sitting where they did, closing out the regular season, being a single match difference in the way that everything played out. UOW, they won 6, only dropping a single map, which, I mean, that's a huge performance. It was, yeah, a single map. So technically 7 wins, 1 loss, whereas, GIGACHADELAIDE, 5 wins, 2 losses throughout that round robin, coming in second through their pool. I mean, both teams have shown themselves insanely capable when it comes to Dota. Very versatile as well. We do see a very deep, a scarily deep almost hero pool from all players involved.
Yeah, certainly do agree there, but we're hopping into our draft here. Kunkka and Bane getting banned off immediately.
Someone's bought the Suraction Slacks audio line. They're spamming it to all hell in the game right now. But Kunkka Tiny, yeah, 2 very strong picks at the moment. Bane as well, being banned away by University of Wollongong. We've seen some interesting Dota over the last couple of weeks, and those minor patches coming through, making those little changes. So have obviously changed deviated the meta somewhat, but not overly significantly. So I'm still looking to see that very, Spirit Breaker, Dawn Breaker come into things. Although I suppose Dawn Breaker probably not available at the moment. But yeah, Weaver, another very strong pick to be banned away.
Yeah, certainly are kind of heroes that we've been seeing quite prevalent in this patch. Tiny is one that's maybe gotten a little bit of heat as of recently. I know Arteezy has been popularizing the Tiny position 1 a little bit over in Europe with all the international players. But Jakiro is actually going to be our first lock-in here for GIGACHADELAIDE.
Interesting. So look, it's a lot of setup. It's a lot of lane harass as well. So I would imagine GIGACHADELAIDE are probably looking towards either an off lane or a safe lane that needs that little bit of freedom. I would imagine probably leaning towards more of a safe lane support here at the moment. The Batrider has seen a huge rise in play. Has become that much stronger with the it was almost not quite a balancing. It is still a bit of a buff with the flame coming through. I am surprised that we see something like the Batrider, who is such an influential hero, probably coming out of that mid lane as well for University of Wollongong, be let through.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely a really solid pick. I do like Batrider. He adds that sort of much-needed aggression in a lot of lineups, especially if you are planning on playing around someone that is looking to get a lot of space created for them. Something like a Sven or a Spectre. Batrider can definitely do that. Level 10, he comes online very heavily with the sticky napalm talents. He got nerfed a little bit, but he's still definitely a powerhouse in both the mid lane and the position 3 roles. But Earthshaker, Blue Panda, I know this is a hero that you're a bit of a fan of.
I'm liking what University of Wollongong are laying down. I mean, he's one of those Feast of Famine support hero. I would imagine. Actually, no. In saying that, I'm not going to make that prediction just yet because we've seen Earthshaker rotate into any number of positions. But the Viper coming through, that's definitely a very, very strong pick at the moment. Can do a lot to shut down some of those beefier off-lane heroes. And the Morphling answer as well. So GIGACHADELAIDE, they're coming in. They've got their plan. I'm keen to see what they can do to try and, dissuade University of Wollongong, because already you see the Batrider coming with that Firefly, the Lasso, and then you've got an Earthshaker on top of it. There's already a lot of heavy engage being shown.
Yeah, definitely a very all-in lineup from UOW Esports. We've seen Reem pilot this Viper in the mid lane before. He definitely seems to be very proficient on it. He does seem to have it as a bit of a comfort pick. So going into such a serious game against such a caliber of team like UOW, makes sense that they might want to put him on here with the Viper, but at the same time, it does raise some questions, because if they are planning on having Reem on this Viper, picking it second in your draft phase is a little bit risky. You definitely can run the risk of having the enemy team play around that position too very heavily, so they might be flexing the Viper elsewhere, and this is somewhat of a bit of a diversion, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, second phase of bans are coming through, and Pangolier Lifesteal are taken off the board for UOW. Looks like Earth Spirit and Morphling for the side of GIGACHADELAIDE. They opt to go for the Abaddon as their third ban. And last ban in the round for UOW Esports. What are we thinking here? I imagine they're wanting to take away anything that is going to be magic immune. That's kind of what the Pangolier and the Lifestealer do fit the bill for. Stops their Bat Rider.
I would imagine anything that would also sort of dissuade the engaged. Slark is always a hero that is going to be infamous for being able to escape a lot of this lockdown that UOW are bringing to the table. So yeah, they're just getting rid of that magic immunity. Anyone that could potentially negate the lasso jump in, any of the stuns coming out of the Earthshaker. So UOW, they want to lock these targets down. They want to guarantee the kill on top of it.
Yeah, certainly. And Slark, again, another hero that fits that bill. Very difficult to lock down. Makes a lot of sense that they are looking to take him out of the pool. Juggernaut actually getting picked up here, though, which is an interesting one. I suppose picking that away makes sense. Obviously, you do have Bat Rider and Earthshaker present. You ban away the Pangolier, the Lifestealer, the Slark. The only other real magic immune carry that the enemy team could go for is that Juggernaut, but if you pick him away, then the enemy team can't grab that one for themselves. So I think that was more of just a pick to take it out of the pool of GIGACHADELAIDE here, but we'll see what they opt to bounce back with.
I mean, honestly, speaking of bounces, this is already a very, very scary lineup for University of Wollongong. The isolation death guarantee here. Lasso into an Omni Slash, something like that. I mean, they probably wouldn't even have to commit it if they find the right target. Just a Juggernaut going into that mid to late game pumps out so much damage. Catching the right target is going to be a huge problem for GIGACHADELAIDE. I'm interested to see where they go from here. They've already got two, they've got the Viper. Decent amount of survivability on the hero in itself. Maybe we do see something like the Sven come into pos 1, pair it with something like the Omni Knight that is going to guarantee that extra beef in the lane, make it that much harder, deny that initial burst that University of Wollongong are looking for.
Yeah, Omni Knight does have a little bit of credence here. Spirit Breaker getting picked up there, obviously very popular hero at the moment. We did see an incredible performance from GIGACHADELAIDE, I believe, who picked this one up in one of their last games, but definitely I do agree that Omni Knight is quite good. Heavenly Grace is just going to be an amazing tool here against all the lockdown present between Bat Rider and Earthshaker. I am curious what they're going to go for their pos 1 here, though, because they need to pick something that isn't just going to get ganked by Bat Rider Earthshaker over and over and over again. But obviously, they've done an incredible job of banning out all of the obvious choices for that, and as well as picking away the jugs. So definitely GIGACHADELAIDE going to have their work cut out for them here, picking something good for their position 1 player, who has shown himself to be quite talented in the past, but whether or not he's going to be able to keep it up here, we'll have to be vigilant in checking that one out.
GIGACHADELAIDE, I respect the Spirit Breaker. You've got a lineup already out of Wollongong that is looking to isolate and shut down specific targets. Spirit Breaker is a hero that can, sort of switch the odds almost, getting the charge off all of a sudden what was, that 2 versus 1 engage. And you were talking about someone to be a little bit more survivable in these situations. Ursa is notorious for being one of those heroes that can turn a fight on a dime, regardless of the health, because of just the sheer amount of damage that an Ursa can pump out.
Yeah, definitely is it's a decent pick. Again, the ult damage reduction is going to do wonders for just surviving, but we have seen Ursa actually raise a little bit in popularity due to the double Falcon Blade build that's kind of been showing itself, something that you can definitely look to see in the upcoming TI. I imagine with how popular it is right now and no patches coming out between now and TI more than likely, the double Falcon Blade build is probably going to be absolutely rampant. But it's great because Ursa is one of those heroes who doesn't really benefit from a farming item so much, because Ursa by himself can farm very quickly. It's just a matter of you run out of mana, so you can't use your W, you can't use your Q. And then all of a sudden, Ursa starts to slow down in farm when he is gated by that mana pool. But all you do is you stick a couple Falcon Blades on him. The guy has infinite mana, can just farm permanently, basically. And, the double Falcon Blade still works out to be cheaper than something like a Battle Fury would be, for example, while also giving you a much better build path of stats. So things like the Ursa have popped up a little bit more in recent times due to that build. And I would expect that to be what we see the Ursa piloting here.
I would imagine, yeah, it's going to be an Ursa Jakiro lane, which, I mean, the Liquid Fire is going to give Ursa that freedom to farm and that little bit more security. And then you have the added bonus if you've got a Spirit Breaker on the roster. So if you do decide you want to engage, the charge kicks off, you line it up with the ice, and then all of a sudden Ursa is on your face, shredding through you. Dark Willow, I do respect that as a response. The Brambles are going to make it just that much harder for an Ursa in lane. If they do look to engage and commit for a fight, all of a sudden, you've got to deal with those big obstacles in the way. So Wollongong, they do adapt pretty well.
Yeah, so, I mean, this does kind of confirm that this is going to be a Batrider. Oh, I mean, it's a little bit up in the air. Earthshaker 5 is not super seen, but I guess they could go Earthshaker 5, have the Batrider 3 with Dark Willow 4. But more than likely, this is going to be like a Shaker in the off lane with the Dark Willow as the 3. And Batrider kind of more than likely going towards the middle lane if they are yet to pick a position 5. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely some interesting things between both compositions. I would say GIGACHADELAIDE is a little bit more set in stone where each player is going to be going right now. Again, unless they do something absolutely crazy with this second pick Viper. But final bans coming out here. Magnus getting taken off the board. I guess they are just trying to make sure that they can't go for this massive wombo combo team comp with the Earthshaker. Taking away Magnus does help with that. Obviously, reverse polarity into Echo Slam is a nasty combo to be on the receiving end of. As well as that, they are taking away Night Stalker. So it does seem like they think that this is going to be a Shaker 5 Batrider 2, and they're just trying to take away strong position 3s like the Night Stalker here. And then Magnus, also can fit that bill much the same way. But
looking at the Mars ban from Wollongong, though, that maybe it does maybe indicate this is a POS 3 Earthshaker. Mars would naturally bully out a lane. Void Seeker as well. Sorry, not Void Seeker, Void Spirit. Would bully the Earthshaker out of lane. So, I mean, it looks like they are keeping that as an option just for now. Probably going to wait to see that last pick coming out of GIGACHADELAIDE, and then they're going to make that call. But, I mean, yeah, GIGACHADELAIDE did not want to give any extra potential benefits to Wollongong. The Magnus in power combo with the Juggernaut on top of the rest. Honestly, that would have just been a recipe for disaster if Wollongong picked that up. Yeah,
I definitely do agree with you there. But, I mean, we'll have to see what the final picks are here between GIGACHADELAIDE and UOW. One thing that's worth noting, actually, about this bracket is we've gone through, a fair amount of games so far in the knockout upper bracket stage. Obviously, for GIGACHADELAIDE to make it all the way here, they had to go through Super TAFE, which was a clean 2-0, and UOW Esports knocked out USID No Brain Gaming with another clean 2-0 to meet each other here. But on the other side of the upper bracket, LuniMelb advanced 2-0, Ultimate Chads advanced 2-0, and then Ultimate Chads advanced over LuniMelb to meet them in the upper bracket finals with another 2-0. So every single game in the upper bracket so far has just been a complete one-sided 2-0 match. So this could be our first real game. Again, both of these teams are not only friends, but definitely very, very strong contenders out of the group stage with each other. But that is going to be Lena locked in, actually, which honestly, I'm still not super set on exactly who's going to be going where on this lineup.
I mean, the obvious answer would be Ursa 1, obviously. I would almost say Spirit Breaker 3 with a Viper 2 and Lena Jakiro support. And Wind Ranger are going to be the final pickup here. And okay, so maybe they are looking to send the Earthshaker into that POS 4, POS 5 position and run this off-lane Wind Ranger.
The Roche Pit, we see you doing it.
Okay, so it's actually going to be a Lena 2, which is interesting. Viper not going to be taking that mid lane slot, but it is going to be the position 2 captain of GIGACHADELAIDE, Reem, piloting the Lena. So that is a interesting switch up. And again, I mean, something that we did predict with the Viper lock-in early. You pick the Viper. If it is looking like a good position 2 Viper game, you can put him there, but otherwise it looks like this was their plan from the start to put him off into a side lane. And again, I would love to know exactly which player is which aside from Reem on this lineup, but GIGACHADELAIDE love to change their names every single week flawlessly. So therefore, it's a little bit hard to keep track.
And it helps all the more when Jakiro's name is censored, given, I do work with the Russian. I do understand it a little bit myself, and yeah, that is that is one of those ones that we don't translate on stream.
Definitely not. Have to just wait to hop into game though. But I think while we're waiting, if we want to have a quick little mention of our sponsors, Blue Panda.
I mean, look, it just cannot be said enough how important these sponsors are. Chatime, obviously the naming rights sponsor here for the University League for AEL. Go check out their fresh iced tea, their new range that is coming to local stores now, and obviously going into summer and spring, it's starting to heat up across the region. So make sure you get some nice, refreshing drinks in your Indomie as well, feeding the troops throughout the competition. RIG, a phenomenal headset sponsor coming through, superior audio quality. And AOC, I hold this one in high regard. I'm currently using my new curved AOC 165Hz gaming monitors to watch all of this. So, look, big stuff out of them. If you're looking for a new monitor, definitely check them out. And our newest sponsor, Predator, coming in hard and fast, superior gaming technology. And as someone who does a bit of Rainbow Six here and there, I cannot say just how cool Predator are.
Definitely, well, we're going to be hopping right into our game here between the two teams, and it looks like GIGACHADELAIDE looking to do one of their tried and true smoke invades level 1. Certainly do have a lot of CC on their side, especially if Reem does choose to skill Light Strike Array, which it does look like he has done here.
30 seconds to battle.
At the moment, it doesn't look like that there is any clue on the side of the die that this could be happening in here. Straight on in, MBTW could be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, the charge comes through. He tries to get the Fisher down, but it's not in time. Light Strike Array is going to stun him up, but here comes the reinforcements for UOW. Gubala firing off the arrows in the backline. MBTW, though, is going to go down thanks to that last-minute auto attack from Reem, but now Homeless Degenerate is on the run. He's having to get himself some distance between Billy the Brawler, who is laying down those sticky napalm attacks. Gubala, one more arrow, it does connect, but the damage not quite there. Will Homeless Degenerate get out of this one? The slow is just stacking up. Billy the Brawler, another couple of auto attacks will do the trick. One more is all that's needed. Will Homeless Degenerate be able to get out of this one? He pops the Fairy Fire to avoid the last minute auto attack. This is getting so close. One more will do the trick, and Billy the Brawler finally finds him just as the Spirit Breaker makes his way to the tower. And that is going to be a nice even 1-for-1 in the favor of GIGACHADELAIDE. Slightly, a little bit of a gold lead to their name.
I mean, that gets Billy his boots immediately, which is something you very much want in lane for a Bat Rider. Being able to get in as soon as he hits that 2. He's looking at bully here. Jakiro being locked out by the fissure there. Couple of sticky napalm stacks. And I mean, as strong as an Ursa Jakiro lane can be, with sticky napalm becoming a factor, I don't know if it is going to be as easy a lane as it could have been.
Yeah, definitely not. But, I mean, one thing that Jakiro is very good at is, trading in lane. He is maybe not so much a support that is going to carry team fights by himself, much like, a Witch Doctor or a Crystal Maiden could do. But when it comes to actually pumping out damage in the laning phase, Dual Breath, very, very hard to play into. And that's exactly what we're going to see here. Abusing the low range on the Earthshaker position 4 to the fullest extent.
Up in the top lane, Kid picks up that kill on the Juggernaut. The Blade Fury Bramble Maze combo with, unfortunately, having your support out of lane. Homeless Degenerate was caught over by the small camp trying to block it up so the pull can't happen. And as a result, his offlane dies.
Yeah, that's a Crimson Immortal Blade as well. This is, Kid showing his pockets, I suppose. As I think it is. Homeless Degenerate does have to watch out, though. Gets caught up in the brambles. Kid looking to chase him down here with the Blade Fury. It's going to miss just slightly, though. That is definitely very unfortunate.
Just a bit too slow. I mean, a Homeless Degenerate on the Spirit Breaker. This Orb of Venom already paying out dividends, enabling... Oh, they're going to look to turn around, but that might be a bit of an overreach.
Yeah, he's got no Blade Fury at the moment to dodge out of that stun, but, with only level 1 on Homeless Degenerate, no bash available. Definitely not going to be doing too much damage there, especially with, the Viper position 3 that we have is just going to be looking to farm up try and get himself some items, but already has a level lead over the position 1, which is definitely not something you want to be on the receiving end of as this Juggernaut. Viper is definitely a hero that, you know, can do quite a bit of damage to you in the laning phase if he gets given a little bit of a lead, chucking out that DPS.
In the mid lane. I mean, we are starting to see those levels come through. And that disparity could translate into some real pressure going into the mid game, but I wouldn't imagine too much action in the mid. Gubala should go pretty even with Reem, unless there is outside interference. Or some poor positioning, and poor positioning could come into play here. But unless that happens, no one should pick up a kill in that mid lane.
Yeah, they're actually able to find a pick onto the Ursa down in the bot side, which is interesting. But again, we just really have to highlight the amount of damage that, you know, an early game Batrider can do if he's able to stack up those sticky napalm shots and then go in on you with the Firefly. Definitely can do some disgusting all-in damage. Ursa, you know, even grabbing himself the very early magic wand as we saw earlier to try and sustain through it, but you know, in the end it's just not going to be enough. They are trying to maybe get aggressive here on the top side onto Not My Fault. Or Unleashed, should I say. The position 3 here. I do believe we saw Unleashed actually piloting this Spirit Breaker last time, but they flexed it over to the 4 position here and able to get this Viper in the off lane. So, definitely a very flexible team, GIGACHADELAIDE.
Yeah, I think that's more to sort of help out, or imagine it would be to help out this bot lane. Not that it's really found much for them at the moment, or just to impact the rest of the map with the global presence of a Spirit Breaker and just the inherent threat that it poses on its own. At the moment, though, Ursa could be in trouble.
Yeah, he does have to watch out. Gets hit by the Fisher. Billy the Brawler trying to do all he can to get the damage down with that Firefly. Has to watch out, though, as Jakiro might have his cooldowns be coming back up in a second. Can't be sitting around in that Firefly, though. Definitely a lot of damage. But look at the healing out of the Magic Wand. Definitely one of the best investments you can make in a Batrider lane.
It's going to keep him healthy for now, but
Kid definitely has to watch out here. He pops the Blade Fury to get himself out.
There we go. Self coming on through. Last hit department, it is very much a Radiant affair. The only 2 players in the top 5 out of Dire, it's that Windranger in the mid lane and Batrider in the bot lane. So at least they, you know, they're going even between the Ursa and the Batrider. Kid is really struggling to get the money in the bet.
Yeah, he definitely is, but I mean, he is laning against something like a Viper Spirit Breaker. Certainly a lot of kill pressure on this lane. And obviously Blade Fury does shut down a lot of the magic damage they're looking to put on him, but actually, they do have to watch out. This Viper here, Unleashed, getting chased down with the Bramble Blade Fury combo that we talked about earlier. Pops the South to try and buy himself a little bit of space, but a nice crit coming through from Kid. Actually able to finish him off. They're looking to keep on going, though, as the stun connecting onto Homeless Degenerate, but they do decide to just back off.
Yeah, it's just not worth Kid's time at this stage. They've got the kill on the Viper already. They don't want to chase and risk missing out on any more potential farm. But, I mean, he's already that far behind. There is a 7 last hit disparity, and it's only with Kid closing the gap in the last minute or so.
Yes, certainly this Juggernaut is not super far behind the Ursa in terms of last hits. It is, you know, 27 to 21, but you know, when Ursa is going to be coming online definitely earlier than Jug will, it becomes a little bit more alarming.
And for something, there's a lot of posturing down here in the bot lane. MBTW is looking to try and dissuade Ursa from going in, and Jakiro as well. There's a lot, it's almost like a powder keg down in the bot lane that could explode any moment. They may have found the isolate though.
Ooh, they are coming in here though. Charge of Darkness is going to connect onto Billy the Brawler. The damage comes through. They do actually find themselves to pick up onto a Toyota Suzuki Motorola, but Billy the Brawler is actually doing a great job of kiting them around in the trees with this Firefly right here. The Dual Breath is going to whiff from the Jakiro. In comes Gubala. The supports have arrived. One more auto will do the trick on MBTW. They do find it indeed. This is just an absolute bloodbath though. Jakiro, one shot from death, pops the South to try and buy himself a little bit more time. Laguna Blade coming through from Reem, but it's not going to buy his Jakiro much, as he is going to go down. But Reem coming in a little bit late for cleanup crew, but comes up huge with a massive triple kill.
The entire time while the fight was going on, they picked up yet another kill onto Unleashed in the top lane. And all of a sudden, I mean, the lane should have been pretty strong for the Radiant. You know, having a Viper and a Spirit Breaker to threaten. They are going back in. The charge is here, but Kid does have the Blade Fury. Should he want to look to get out?
Yeah, decides not to pop it there. Obviously, Blade Fury is a lot of mana. The double Falcon Blade build, by the way, is also good on Juggernaut. It's probably his best build. A lot of people have been going Maelstrom, but honestly, there's also been a little bit of debate about just going the double Falcon Blade build, because Juggernaut can actually farm incredibly well if he's allowed to just spam Blade Fury like every single time it's off cooldown.
River. Oh, that's unlucky.
Bit of a three-way collapse. But yeah, I was saying, you know, Kid on this Juggernaut, he is able to farm if he's just allowed to spam this Blade Fury skill, but, you know, it does cost a lot of mana, which is the main gating factor. But, you know, recently, double Falcon Blade, you have infinite mana, you're just able to spam it and actually farm these camps quite quickly. So, going to be interested to see if he does opt for that sort of a thing. But right now, it does look like he is just going your stock standard Maelstrom build. Going for much more of a right-click farming focused style rather than going for the Blade Fury spam.
An old Toyota Suzuki Motorola TSM. We'll give him that for now. He's looking to queue up the Diffusal Blade, gets himself the root. It's pos 1 jungle time, as you'd expect around this 9-minute mark. But the fact that it's already 4 kills to 10 in favor of the Dire is pretty hectic.
Yeah, poor old Jakiro. My Gopnik friend.
I mean, there's been 15 kills in less than 10 minutes, which is, I mean, that's an insane acceleration at the moment. And
yeah.
The fact, on top of that, Gubala has 5 of them is pretty insane too.
Yes, certainly. They're looking to get aggressive here underneath the GIGACHADELAIDE Tier 1 tower. The Viper is going to be the first one to go down. Poor Unleashed. Here comes Toyota Suzuki Motorola, though, looking to stack things up against Davai Lama. In comes Mr. Jakiro, though, with the dual breath. Finds himself Davai Lama trying to run away. But Gubala sitting up on the high ground right now at about half HP. Does have to watch out. We have Laguna Blade online for Reem. The burst damage could come through at any moment.
Nothing just yet. So they decide enough is enough. Nothing huge, a 1-for-1 trade, but it always has to favour the side of the Dire, only losing a support for that pos 1 that the Radiant lost. Or we could see a big engage here to Billy.
Yeah, that is the Laguna Blade we were just talking about. Is so much damage on Reem, and he just pops the haste rune to get out of there to safety. And 30 damage coming through here, so this could be a bit of a right-click leaner build towards the late game. Toyota Suzuki Motorola trying to kite around the trees the best he can with that ultimate damage reduction, but in the end it is going to be Gubala coming up with a nice little solo kill on this Wind Ranger. And, you know, we were talking about the Wind Ranger damage before and how many kills he has. And, you know, with Maelstrom online, he's absolutely just running around the map, melting people down with this focus fire.
Yeah, the concern has to be there. The fact that we've seen so much. And look, not only in that, Gubala's top of the charts of the... Oh, no. It's all just coming apart here.
Yeah, the bot lane is actually just a massive, massive fiesta right here. The tower finally goes down, but Toyota Suzuki Motorola manages to get the TP off in time. Davai Lama's going to get caught up by Reem with the Dragon Slave. Billy the Brawler is on a retreat. Pops down a cheeky Observer Ward on the high ground while he runs away. But, my good sir, I'm not exactly sure where there is to run for you. He might be able to get himself to this mid tower where Gubala is waiting, with the TPs are coming through to cut him off. Here comes Unleashed. He actually doesn't even see Batrider, though. Opts to farm the mid-wave instead. Oh no, Charge of Darkness is used, but doubt he'll chase it all the way.
And we are starting to hit some of those big items at the moment. Already, we do see Gubala has the Maelstrom. Look, Jakiro, you got a ward at least, so there is income flowing at the moment. And with Jug, Kid being almost halfway to his Javelin. In fact, he's over the halfway point. He's throwing his Javelin, his Maelstrom of his own, but he's just got the Javelin to go. The fact that Gubala is in the position that he is, he's got a 1,400 gold in the pocket as well, and he's going to look to farm up this camp that's been stacked up nicely for him too. I mean, the BKB should be online within the next 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, certainly. Gubala is just farming up a Storm right here. Most last hits in the game, obviously the highest net worth as well. Reem not super far behind him, but At the moment, it is Gubala showing himself to be the dominant position 2 in this game. What's more incredible to me, though, is that, you know, this UOW lineup has over double the kills of the GIGACHADELAIDE team, but, you know, it's only a 1k gold lead. It's nothing too crazy, and, you know, they were at less than a 1k gold lead up until that last fight in the bottom lane, but oh no, looks like Unleashed has found himself getting caught out by a quick little shackle shot into the focus fire, and Gubala showing himself that he is just an absolute menace right now.
3-man smoke over towards this mid lane, but again, nothing to be found for it. They don't want to risk losing out, especially this stage in the game. They want to be the ones to find the opening. They want TSM on this Ursa to be able to go and get that Aegis if possible within the next couple of minutes, because unfortunately he can't just go and do it on his own, given how much of a threat that UOW are posing.
Yeah, they really do want this mid lane tower. They might have found Reem actually as the shackle shot connects. The team fight erupting. Kid does pop the Blade Fury to try and get himself out to safety, and he will with the healing totem. They might have found Homeless Degenerate as well, trying to flee back to his triangle. A nice shot in the backline from Gubala is going to finish him off. He might have found Ursa as well, thanks to a well-placed shackle shot. TSM has to use that Q to get himself out to safety, and it's going to be UOW once again coming ahead in these fights, and it's Gubala being the key player to get them there.
They do just hold it at the tier 1, but a little bit longer, but realistically, it shouldn't be for that much longer. Gubala's back in position. It's going to be a deny. Just snuck away there by GIGACHADELAIDE. It's one of those situations you got to take the victories where you can find them.
Certainly Billy the Brawler does have that charge of darkness on him. We'll see if that decides to get taken. He's actually going to cancel the TP. Firefly popped in retaliation. Doesn't look like the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup want to keep pushing though.
We are seeing Billy go for that slightly tankier offlane Batrider build with a Defiant second item. No hard rush into a Blink Dagger, and I think that's respectable given the amount of lockdown that is available to GIGACHADELAIDE. You don't want to commit to a fight only to then feed those kills, especially knowing they've got a huge lead at the moment. Yeah, it's only 2k, but 11 kills, it's a decent chunk of experience as well that they have against their counterparts. I mean, you look at Kid, he's just cracked 10. As much as TSM is keeping up with them, it's a matter of, you know, how quickly can things spiral out of control from here.
Yeah, that's actually quite significant, though, that he cancelled that TP, because it was going to be, you know, this Batrider that was going up to catch those couple of waves that were pushing in on the top side, but, you know, with his TP cancelled, it had to be the Earthshaker instead, so that means that all that gold is going to be going on to their position 4 instead of their position 3, and it's just going to put that Batrider just that little bit behind, but, you know, at the same time, MBTW can use it. He's going to use this gold to probably buy his Blink Dagger, yes, indeed, so they're going to have that blink into Echo Slam initiation for the next fight, which is going to be something GIGACHADELAIDE have to watch out for.
And that's one of those big things with an Earthshaker. I did say at the very start, you know, it is a feast or famine hero. If you don't find yourself in a position to get those assists, get gold where you can, to get a decently timed Blink Dagger, you're basically worthless, because if you cannot dive on into a fight, get that Echo Slam off, follow it up with a, you know, the secondary stun, you're doing everything you can from range with the fissure. You hope your team can then follow up from there. But now, I mean, 16-minute Blink Dagger, that's absolutely huge for MBTW. He can be the playmaker. And speaking of play, he's up in the top lane. They've found the spirit.
Yeah, it does look like Billy the Brawler was able to get a great lasso there. Chase him down, but Gubala just getting the picks for himself. Look at the focus fire damage from this Windrunner. The Maelstrom is online, the BKB is on the way, and Gubala is just looking to be a dominant force in this match right here. No focus fire for the next fight if it does break out just yet. 30 seconds away. We'll see if GIGACHADELAIDE choose to fight back, but it does not look like it.
Stop everything there. I'm going to isolate that tier 1 in the top lane. Taking the time, obviously, with the, you know, with the fortification coming through, it can't be instantaneous. Kid as well. The wave management being shown here by Wollongong is very impressive.
Yeah, Kid is getting chased down by Homeless Degenerate here, indeed, but acknowledging he probably does not have the damage to solo kill him there, especially with Kid having the Omni Slash available for himself. Does decide to just back off, but Sanjin Yasha is actually going to be the next pickup for Kid, which is interesting. Normally, you know, Juggernaut would be a Manta carrier, but you know, opting to go for the S&Y instead, and I can definitely understand that. A little bit of extra strength, bit of extra HP, gonna do wonders against burst damage coming out from this Lina, especially. They have found themselves Billy the Brawler there, though. Unfortunately, the Light Strike Array is going to miss, and they're just going to turn right around, pop the Omni Slash onto Reem. He's going to get blown up by Kid. That's the first kill of the fight, and GIGACHADELAIDE want no more, and they're just going to back right on out of here. Look to retreat back towards their jungle. They've actually found Gubala, though, in the backside. He did try to get the focus fire off onto TSM, but the ultimate from this Ursa is just going to get popped, and Gubala actually gets blown up by the Ursa damage. And now Billy the Brawler is going to be the next one on their radar. He is slowed up, but no one there to try and follow up with the connection. The CC is actually just coming through. GIGACHADELAIDE, they might be turning this one around. Divine Llama going untargetable right here as he tries to make his great escape against 3 members of GIGACHADELAIDE, but it's no hope as they managed to turn around what seemed like a unwinnable game for themselves into some with a little bit of a spark of hope.
I mean, it's a pretty big gold swing. I mean, sorry, it's not even the gold swing that's the biggest part of it. It's the experience swing. 3,000 gold picked up, only the 1,300 picked up by Wollongong. An extra 1,000 gold in the pocket for the side of GIGACHADELAIDE as well. So they've brought that 3k gold lead down to a 2k, so they are steadily closing that gap. And the fights that we've seen, the last couple of them, yeah, it's been a good start to things from University of Wollongong, but GIGACHADELAIDE have then found their opening following it up and been able to turn that momentum even slightly.
Yeah, really underestimating the damage that Toyota Suzuki Motorola was able to pump out with that Enrage. Popped the ulti and just absolutely went to town on Gubala, showing off the DPS that Ursa can pump out in a single target scenario when you are standing right in front of him, but definitely do have to wonder if, you know, this Ursa is going to fall off heavily this game, or whether or not he is going to be able to keep on being that threat that Gubala has to deal with. And it doesn't look like Gubala even has to worry about the Ursa by itself, as Reem actually picks up a kill onto him yet again here in the bot side jungle. Unleashed is sitting here waiting on this Viper, but a Great Fisher might have actually... Ooh, no. Batrider unfortunately pops the lasso, but TSM is a little bit too tanky, has his team behind him, isn't going to go down without a fight, and GIGACHADELAIDE are just finding these picks out of nowhere and making their way back into this game.
Yeah, again, I don't know if Wollongong are making the right calls, or this is, you know, aggressive positioning. They can just be funneling that gold. They can be clearing camps. They can be playing the wave game. But they're so focused on this bot side of the map that they've been caught out a couple of times now. That gold lead was at 3.3k and is now down to just 1k. So the gap is closing, the experience is closing, and if they're not careful, it's going to swing in the favor of GIGACHADELAIDE and swing out of control.
Definitely these are two teams that are probably contenders. You know, you could tell me that either of these teams would be seen in the grand finals of this series, and I would believe you. And, you know, right now we're seeing exactly why, despite a monstrous kill lead and a gold lead on UOW, GIGACHADELAIDE are still making it look like it's dead even. But a smoke play on the bot side may turn that around. No one is on this bot side jungle for UOW to find just yet.
I'm just going to take that control. No real threats that could be isolated just for the moment. There's a lot of presence there. They've sort of split the map with Wollongong taking the bot side and GIGACHADELAIDE's taking the top side. The Firefly is popped. They could look to make an engage, but the high ground advantage is there for GIGACHADELAIDE.
Yeah, they do have to watch. Reem on this Lina. Does have Yules online to get the guaranteed Light Strike Array.
Positioning. They are looking for a fight. We've seen GIGACHADELAIDE take a couple of Gubala. Just avoids it, but the turnaround shot could set up MBTW. They have the timing.
And BTW is there with the Blink Fisher. It's going to connect onto both with the Echo Slam. He is going to get stunned up by the Light Strike Array and go down, but in goes the position one. Omni Slash is used, but the Enrage buying TSM so much time here to last out the damage. They are going to look to just melt down this Batrider and not let that lasso do anything, but Gubala kiting around this fight, popping the left clicks, popping the arrows, doing so much damage for himself. Reem's actually going to turn around, one-shot Davai Lama with a well-placed Laguna Blade Light Strike Array. Double kill coming up huge for Reem.
Reem is hitting for 200 damage every auto attack right now, so Davai Lama again getting a bit over aggressive, and once again University of Wollongong biting off more they could chew, overcommitting. They had to set up the Omni Slash. It went into a creep wave, so it did next to no damage whatsoever, and the fact that we got to see TSM survive as long as he did, that Morbid Mask did huge work on top of the Enrage, kept them healthy, kept them in that. And unfortunately, they didn't have a great target set up for Wollongong for Billy to go in and lock down. It's just, it's an overcommitment and overconfidence that is costing them.
Billy the Brawler there comes in, does find the Spirit Breaker, trying to TP away, tries to pop the Yules to cancel it, but he TP, so Billy the Brawler ends up just Yulesing himself. That was quite humorous. Bit of a fight might break out here though. Homeless Degenerate looking to get the charge onto Kid. Does end up just popping the invis to run away, but massive Macro Pyre coming through here from this Jakiro, looking to melt down the position 4. But Davai Lama does live to see another day. Willow proving herself to be a bit of a hero that's hard to lock down.
I mean, it's just the power of Shadow Realm being able to get out of those situations, non-targetable. And I have to question Wollongong's priority or just agency when it comes to this bot lane. They are just continuously looking to shove it in. They're not playing any sort of macro game. It's just all 4 members, all 5 members sort of shoving on through. The only player not there is Gubala, who does have the Blink Dagger now as well, so can sort of be that solo unit looking to set up plays on his own. And yeah, they're just rocking as a unit right now. There's no real wave management that could set up for a big macro play.
Yeah, certainly is. And BTW looking to chase down into the jungle here with the Blink Echo available. This man is always ready to go, initiate. We saw him get a great Echo Slam in that last fight. Did connect it onto only 2 members, but was definitely well placed. Just the follow-up wasn't really there. He kind of just went in, Echo Slammed, and walked out. And that was what allowed GIGACHADELAIDE to kind of regain their composure, regain their footing, and then punch back with all of the might that they did.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I did not expect it. They're just going to keep forcing down the spot lane. They get a decent chunk of damage out onto it, but the charge, the Light Strike Array, Kid could be in trouble. The damage is big. They do have the follow-up as well, but no, the Bramble Maze is going to stop the play dead on its tracks. He's going to look to get himself away, but doesn't have the ward close by. Okay, there it is. It's just managed to path its way out of the trees. And for now, oh, the big engage.
Yeah, Shackle Shot into the BKB Focus Fire, but nevertheless not able to find the kill onto Reem. He's going to use himself to buy a little bit of time, and BTW is going to go down to the Macro Pyre. Kid did pop the Omni Slash, but now he is on fast retreat with that Battle Fury. Or Blade Fury, I should say. Meanwhile, though, it does look like Unleashed, unfortunately, is going to get lassoed up onto the high ground and is going to get melted down by a Gubala arrow. The fight is now looking like it's a 4v3 with GIGACHADELAIDE in the favor with the man numbers. Billy the Brawler is going to walk past a ward, quite unfortunately, and the Charge of Darkness is going to follow suit. Looking to lock him down here. The Ice Path is there for the stun. Does pop the invisibility, but they have a sentry right nearby, so that's not going to do much, I'm afraid.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Oh, this is the, yeah, look, the gold swung back in favor of GIGACHADELAIDE. They have the opening, the freest opening of their life to go for this Roshan as well. Gubala doing what he can with those power shots, but there's only so much that's available to them. AEDT doesn't have the Echo Slam, but they do have the Blink. They could look for a setup here off the Fissure.
Yeah, Viper is actually doing so much damage in these fights. Look at this, 2,255 in favor of Unleashed. Davai Lama walking up maybe a little bit too far. TSM could blow her up. No, goes into the Shadow Realm to buy himself a little bit of time. MBTW, though, no Shadow Realm ability of his own to get himself out from that one.
They've let this game go on far too long. Gubala as well, the target of the next engage is charged down. BKB pop, Ice Path to lock down Billy. And all Kid can really do is sit there and watch. No Omni Slash does have the Blade Fury, but it's only going to count for so much. Bramble Maze going to lock down TSM, who was burning away from the Firefly. They do! They get the pop onto the Aegis, so all is not lost. They might just be able to make a comeback in the next few minutes, but at the moment, this is looking more and more lopsided in the favour of GIGACHADELAIDE.
Yeah, certainly the vision game is interesting as well. Wards on pretty much even sides of the map. No Radiant wards in the Dire side to speak of, but you know, Dire definitely do have some deep vision here, which is certainly interesting. They've managed to evade the sentries of the Radiant quite nicely.
My biggest question so far, though, is Billy's itemization. Like, yeah, I can respect when they go a bit tankier, looking a bit more survival and getting that mana regen, but not having the Blink Dagger, he would have been able to escape that last engage towards the mid lane. They wouldn't have been able to lock him down as easily with a follow-up Ice Path from the charge, and I don't think this was the pick. It might have worked if they'd been able to keep the gold advantage and the XP advantage, but not having the appropriate setup for Billy to lock someone down and pull them out, that's going to cost them.
Bala is not doing too hot. He was, you know, on top of the world, but now it is Reem with the #1 net worth in the game. Laguna Blade going to be popped to melt down Billy the Brawler. As we mentioned, that hood, bit of an investment that he went into to delay his Blink Dagger, but it's not even going to save him from getting bursted by Reem at this point.
This is feeling a lot like a game of questionable decisions. Kid desperately trying to farm the 3 remaining players from Wollongong, looking to try and force this tier 2 maybe, but look at that. Harness Degenerate with the quick TP down, does have the Shadow Blade as well, so anything that could pop off is going to be countered quite quickly. I would imagine they're looking for the Fissure to clear the wave, so the presence has been revealed, and off the back of it, we are going to see the outpost taken by GIGACHADELAIDE, who, I mean, they have weathered the storm and are now taking charge of this map with a 6k gold lead.
Yeah, this Willow is just once again proving herself to be a bit of a pain. The Ice Path, though, going to cancel up the TP quite nicely.
Well, just, there's a, yeah, again, it just comes down to questionable decision making. Like, they, honestly, this roster, this lineup of heroes for University of Wollongong could have been incredibly impressive, but they just take questionable team fights, they lose advantages, the advantages then compound, and all of a sudden we've seen, what, like a 10k gold swing over the last 10 to 15 minutes, and you look at TSM, Diffusal, BKB, and the Blink Dagger, and he's lined up the bash, he's getting some great momentum and getting that finished, and Gubala, who, I mean, was having a runaway start to the map, he's still 12-4, but hasn't made much more progression other than the Crystallis.
Space Cow, where will he go?
I think this is the right decision for University of Wollongong. They are just going to slow things down, get the outpost back, find those farms, find those positions to farm, and that's exactly what Gubala is doing, looking to get 20. The charge is there, the blink out. Gubala playing the smart, safe game there. What information they did have was enough to keep him safe, and yeah, they're just going to look to keep farming up, get some more of those key items on board, and then look to take the fights in the next 4 to 5 minutes.
31 minutes into this game, 6k gold lead for GIGACHADELAIDE despite being down 5 kills. Definitely a team that is very, very good at accumulating that gold value for themselves. Even when we saw a massive kill lead in the favor of UOW, it still was not too far in the gold department.
Unfortunate pause there, but I mean, yeah, 31 minutes, we're looking to start hitting some of those big talents. You look to plus 200 Charge of Darkness move speed, so not only is there a Shadow Blade in the hands of Homeless Degenerate, but he's going to be moving incredibly quickly on top of that. So any ganks that do happen in the next wee while, University of Wollongong going to take a huge amount of punishment. They do have the Yules on Divide to try and counteract it, but I mean, you look at Kid, who has just been jumped on and locked down repeatedly. Gubala as well has been threatened time and time again. If they isolate it, they have isolated. Divide is going to be in a huge amount of trouble. Does somehow escape the combo. Now Billy's in trouble. The engage with BKB's on top. Huge damage to take him out, and they're going to look to charge on through. Try and capitalize and catch whatever else they can. Divide just desperately running. Has another Shadow round. does have the wand as well. The charge knock into the trees, light striker away to clear the way. And they should be able to spot him out. No, the Yules to keep them alive. Turnaround could be huge. Kid running, charging on through with the spider legs, looking to get a big Omni Slash off. Spots out Reem, the Blade Fury, the combo's there. The BKBs though, more turnarounds in the enraged pop. Devi isn't trying to do what he can from the back line. Omni Slash engaged in, unleashed in trouble, but is just going to survive a little bit longer. And that could be the deterrent they need. Keep them out of it for a little bit longer. Ice Path on top. Catches two, but the blink forward. MBTW with the enchant totem. Slows things down. The Echo Slam. They're looking for TSM. He's low and he's dead. And all of a sudden, it's now University of Wollongong to be the one to determine the momentum.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's huge. That's such a big fight to be taken. Look at the exchange. 9k bump for them. On the side of Wollongong, Kid has the Scardy. The items are just hitting the big timings that they need to be doing at the moment. Unfortunately for Billy, he's still not got the Blink Dagger, but you got to make do with the openings that you have. Gubala is the Daedalus as well. It's on the way in the Courier. And Kadius, this could have swung again. As bizarre as it is, GIGACHADELAIDE may have lost a massive opportunity to close this match out.
Yeah, Kid finished up the Scardy, and that's a lot of stats, and he definitely showed that. Popping the damage in that last fight, coming up as, the highest damage dealer on the UOW lineup. And now he's looking to go for the Basher next. Get some much needed CC for himself.
The moment Gubala with that power shot is going to scout out some big information. Another triple smoke coming out of GIGACHADELAIDE. If they can pick up Gubala, which, at the moment would be a tall task. That's a DD. Reemy's going on in. The charge there as well, but Homeless Degenerate isolated. They're going to get the CC, but the Fissure to counter. MBTW with the turnaround. Gubala's in. Reem is dead. All of a sudden, what could have been a huge play has been shut down. Kid looking to get Unleashed and TSM. Big damage coming out, but Billy there to capitalize and dissuade. Unleashed goes to the BKB. Teleport, Ice Path. Jakiro soon to fall as well. The Flame Break and the toy to jump it over there. So it wasn't even the toy, it was the pig pole in the pocket, and now they're going to find another big kill there. And this is just spiraling out of control. GIGACHADELAIDE had the lead, they had the advantage and the opportunity to potentially close this one out, but University of Wollongong say, hold on, just keep things settled down for a little bit longer, we'll be right back.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the Vision game here? As
Dire's top tower is under
see
attack.
down, we do see UOW getting themselves a few more wards in the Radiant side.
But you can see where the priority is for both teams. GIGACHADELAIDE, they're looking the top side jungle, the top side of the map entirely. Whereas Wollongong, they prioritized this bot lane and this bot side of the jungle for so long, and off the back of it, they've taken some big fights. The charge, questionable for Homeless Degenerate, who does get stunned by the Fissure, but it's all deterrent. The Bramble Maze as well, they want to get the racks, they wanted them to pull out. Kid has been stuck to jump on in. It's not enough. Unfortunately, the turnaround, the Chaos Dunk is going to dissuade, and the damage to slow chip. It's all coming apart here. GIGACHADELAIDE lose both of their off-lane players here. No Earthshaker. Sorry, there's no Spirit Breaker, no Viper Divide, just escaping the Macro Pyre there. Reem and TSM have to hold up another Fissure, the Flame Break as well. TSM jumping on him. Billy is slowly trying to get away, but it's not enough. Reem in huge trouble. And the enraged BKB from TSM is now out of the question. The enrage is there now. It looked like he may have popped it, but it's all graphical effects, and Gubala looking for anything. And TSM is just such a beast right now. Even though he's had such a rough game, the ability to turn a fight the way that he does in those clutch moments and survive for as long as he does, that could be what GIGACHADELAIDE's need to stay in this.
Yeah, potentially.
But, look at that. They take such an aggressive fight. They get the racks. They almost get turned on, but now they're going to peel back. They're going to focus wave management. So all the things that Wollongong should have been doing sort of 10, 15 minutes ago, they're doing now at the sort of 37-minute mark. They've pulled things together. They say, hold on, we almost through this. Play it safe, play to our objectives, and we can close this one out quite easily.
Kid's still farming up for that basher. Looking to grab it. I imagine it is on the way right now. Still having enough gold in his back pocket for buyback if need be. But there's a bit of a cheeky Roshan. You know, this is something that Ursa is known for, is sneaking away those cheeky Roshes, and no wards to speak of. They aren't just going to be able to sneak that one away.
Yeah, and look, I did say TSM could be the thing that pivots this in favour of GIGACHADELAIDE. Getting that Aegis, of course, is always going to help. Plus, the shard as well, being able to keep that enrage sort of going, even for a short period on top of the Earth Shock is going to be huge in those big fights where, I mean, the more you can have it up, the more you can save it towards the end of things is going to be all the better for TSM. But I mean, look at Kid, Skull Basher and Pocket Scardy, the items coming hard and fast. He's even got an extra almost 3k in pocket. Billy still has yet to get the Blink Dagger, although in saying that, this could be it coming. I think it's the wards for him, actually. But I think this is the first game that I've seen a Bat Rider not have a Blink Dagger at this late in the game.
Yeah, he definitely needs to grab that one. They do pop the smoke in the bot side, though, looking to maybe invade this triangle where GIGACHADELAIDE are currently residing. We'll just have to wait and see if they're going to meet each other right now. It looks like they popped their own smoke. They're going to see MBTW in the mid lane. The Fisher going down onto Viper. They do pop the Glimmer to give himself a little bit of space. The Sentry going down looked very scary, but a great 4-staff is going to get him out to safety. They still...
Yeah, they keep themselves safe, which, I mean... that's probably the safest of plays here for Wollongong. They want to wait out the Aegis as best they can, or at least look to take something on their own terms. Cheeky little fissure from range there from MBTW to try and slow them down. And honestly, the more they can do that, the more they can slow Chadelaide, the more they can just waste time, the better the result should be in that coming team fight for Wollongong.
Certainly is. And obviously, you know, Bat Rider, no Blink Dagger just yet. Do you think maybe he's just not going for one? It might be a little bit too late at this point. We've seen, you know, he goes for the Yules, the Hood, the Aether Lens, all of these other items. You know, no Blink Dagger, so to speak, for himself. And you have to wonder, you know, like, why would you go a item like Aether Lens if you're planning on going Blink? Because rather than needing the Aether Lens...
He's got the shard, so he's looking for that flame break setup with the double charges, stacking the sticky napalm. So I think his job, it's not even to get the lass off, it's just to be that disruption factor, try and slow the turn speed, try and slow the momentum, so when they do try and re-engage, it's just that much harder. It's, you know, it's literally just throwing a spatter in the works if possible at any opportunity.
Certainly is. Kid does have that Basher online, looking to grab the Shard next. Which is an interesting one, certainly. Maybe looking to get that big Blade Fury damage and team fights off. And then after that, it looks like he does have the Swift Blink. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out from TSM. Kid going to be the first one to go down. UOW find themselves without a position 1. This could be disastrous, but Gubala finding themselves the big unleash. That Viper, the thorn in their side, is down. Jakiro trying to pump out as much damage as he can before he goes down. Reem also finding himself taken out by the 2 supports of UOW. The Aegis comes back. Will this Ursa be able to survive? Does pop the Enrage. The damage reduction keeping him alive for just a little bit, but no, UOW are going to find the damage they need to finish him off. Buybacks coming through though from 2 members of the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup. Spirit Breaker back in action with the Jakiro to back him up. They're looking to defend this bot lane at tier 3 racks.
2 more buys back to blink into the Yules, and all of a sudden TSM going hard onto Billy. Can't quite find it, but they do get MBTW. The charge gets stopped by the Bramble Maze, and well, if for nothing else, GIGACHADELAIDE, they do hold on for just a bit longer, but unfortunately, the key targets that set up TSM for those kills, both the Viper and the Lena unleashed and Reem being taken down, left it just in the hands of the Jakiro. With next to no setup, the buybacks and the turnaround came through, And unfortunately, TSM is beefy and as tanky as he is, he's not quite tanky enough to survive a full 5-man onslaught of University of Wollongong.
Two teams are just going to back off, look to reset, regroup, decide their next objective. But again, GIGACHADELAIDE do have to deal with that mid lane racks being down. Still, 2 tier 2s up for the side of UOW.
At least, if nothing else, they've got Homeless Degenerate with that charge, can keep going to the top lane, clear out these waves and apply the pressure that way. So as much as mid lane is continuously crashing into the Radiant base, GIGACHADELAIDE can send that top wave over towards Wollongong and threaten that way. But look at the posturing. Full 5 members of Wollongong down here in the bot lane. Bramble may set up to try and deny the charge, but look, waiting in the wings. Billy does spot at the Jakira, but the Ice Path is good. Light Striker Ray should come in. The turnaround could be absolutely huge. BKB popped by Reem, but the damage isn't quite quick enough. The charge onto Gubala. They're going deep here, looking for the kill on this Wind Ranger, but it's not enough. They lose the Vital Armor, but the buyback is there immediately. Billy the ball falls as well. Reem is doing big right-click damage at the moment. MBTW is falling as well. No buyback for him, but 2 already committed. And again, a situation where overconfidence has probably cost Wollongong more than they'd care to admit. Big question is, how do either of these teams close it out, honestly?
Dire's top tower is
They
under
just,
attack.
it seems that they're like, oh no, this spot could be huge. TSM is hit with the shackle, the fury, it's coming on through. Gubala's frustration, the focus fire, and the DD just running around after the death. No buyback for 2 minutes onto TSM. Rush is still 1:30 away, so they can't get that, but I mean, if nothing else, it's just a bit of salt in the wound.
Very unfortunate indeed. UOW looking to group up around this bot side jungle that they so love and adore. You can see all the wards placed down here. And again, this could be Reem and Homeless Degenerate maybe getting caught out here by the enemy team. They do see Homeless Degenerate. Reem still invisible. They don't know he's there. Light Strike Away is going to whiff wide on Gubala. Yule's immediately popped onto Reem. Homeless Degenerate popping the CC, trying to buy himself as much time as possible. BKB TP going to get interrupted by Billy the Brawler with that lasso. And now Homeless Degenerate is going to be the last one left alive. And he is going to go down and meet his mid laner back in the fountain. And that is a huge couple of pickups for the side of UOW. And as you mentioned before, Blue Panda, no buyback on this Ursa for quite some time, and they are just going to march it down on this bottom lane tier 3 and look for the racks.
It is so big right now, just being able to shut down anyone. On top of that, you have Gubala behind with the Lincoln Spear, with the finished Daedalus, and one item, another item coming in. It's the Eagle Song as well for kids. So not only is he hitting like an absolute truck, he's hitting real damn quick as well. They want to get this tier 3, and yeah, it's just going to be the tank up. Kid is going to start smacking away. Gubala waiting for the re-engage, and with Billy as well heading towards the top side, looking to push that wave back in. They play the macro, and you know, Gubala's just going to go in. They do find Unleash, but oh, there's a cheeky little Glimmer Cape there. Spotted out the jump on in. The Echo Slam committed, which is interesting, but it is going to get the kill there, and yet another key member down for a very long time. Only the Jakiro remaining. They're just going to go straight towards the mid towers, the ancient towers, and GG called. GIGACHADELAIDE, they're going to drop map 1.
Yeah, game 1 going to be going the way of UOW in this best of 3 series, and I gotta say it, with a dominating performance at that. Ahead in kills pretty much the entire time. Gubala definitely was caught out a couple times, and that did make the mid game a little bit shaky, but all they did was they squared up. They made sure to patch up those mistakes in the late game, and they ended up coming up huge as a result.
Just look at the graphs. Honestly, forget the scoreboard for now. Look at the graphs. Look at the swing. And how significant the swings that we saw this series were. I mean, you look at it. GIGACHADELAIDE's had the lead, and then it swings into Wollongong's favour, and then it heavily spikes back in GIGACHADELAIDE's favour, and then it's just all over at the end. It's a bizarre ride across the board, but congratulations to Wollongong for picking up map 1. They've still got to get one more if they want to close this one out and take the best of 3 victory. But I can't say whether it was Wollongong costing themselves and delaying things far more than it should, or whether GIGACHADELAIDE were just that much better at capitalizing on those mistakes. Either way, there were opportunities both teams had that could have closed it out earlier.
Certainly. Well, we're going to be throwing it over to a quick little break before we hop into our second game. But be sure to stick around, whether it's going to be UOW advancing with a nice 2-0, or whether GIGACHADELAIDE are going to bounce back for our first ever 1-1 series in this best of 3 upper bracket knockout stage. You'll just have to wait and see right here on the Australian Esports League Uni League for Season 2. Alrighty folks, and welcome back to the AEL Uni League for Season 2. We've got some great Dota 2 on tonight between GIGACHADELAIDE and UOW Esports, who claimed Game 1 in this best of 3 series. Definitely was a great game though. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk as usual by Blue Panda. How we doing?
Look, Game 1 set an interesting precedent. There were opportunities for both sides to close it out a little bit earlier. There were some questionable decisions made. Maybe that's a case of coming into this matchup being a little bit hesitant, but I mean, going into map 2, they can reset. They can look to tighten up those mistakes that were being made. This indecision was probably the biggest catalyst in how that map played out. You know, University of Wollongong, they were able to pick themselves up a lead going to that mid game, and then they just sort of almost stagnated toward this bot side of the map. They kept trying to fight, they kept trying to force it, and they got punished because of it. And GIGACHADELAIDE were able to turn, they were able to capitalize on fights given the hero lineup that they did bring. And then all of a sudden, you know, we started to see those big power spike timings come on through. Wollongong then turned it around again and they closed the map out. So this time around, I want to see GIGACHADELAIDE play to those objectives, play to their end game goal. If they could do that, 100% we see it go to a third map.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing to note here is the bracket for this upper bracket series of the knockout stage has just been full of 2-0s. It's been just 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 all the way so far. This is maybe the first game we could see a 1-1 considering how close we saw the two teams play. Or UOW will just keep it up in fashion and keep the 2-0 trend going, knocking out GIGACHADELAIDE here down into the losers bracket. But you know, GIGACHADELAIDE's such a dominant team. Even if they do get dropped into the losers bracket, I'm sure we'll see more of them.
Going straight to the ban phase, we see a complete repeat of map 1. Bane and Weaver for Wollongong, and Conquer and Tiny for GIGACHADELAIDE. So straight back to where they were. But that begs the question, where do we go as an open now? Because they could literally start that same draft process that we saw out of map 1. And Wollongong, they're going to kick it off. A Dawnbreaker to come through.
Yeah. Dawn Mummy is certainly one of the better supports at the moment, but she can be played in a few places. I've seen, you know, the position 2 Dawnbreaker a little bit, allows you to get that very fast level 6, start impacting the map with that global ultimate for your team. And as well as that, you know, she's able to be played in a 4, in an off lane, but position 5, definitely where she's most typically seen at the moment, is very good at that.
I mean, the last couple of matches where I've seen Dawnbreaker, I've been a little bit underwhelmed. She does... I mean, there is just as much a chance as, you know, she can be that absolute steamroller, help turn determine the momentum of a map, but she also just as much has that possibility to literally become an ult. That's all she can be used for sometimes, the Solar Guardian. So I think, yeah, University of Wollongong, they have to be decisive in where they put it. They have to be playing around those key timings, those key abilities, and trying to set them up for that victory. And Lion, this is a pick that has seen a decent amount of play over the last several months. He's great. He scales up really well going into the late game. The finger is just a huge chunk of damage. Not to mention that Earth Spike setup into the Hex. It's such a great combo to lock down key targets.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Earth Spike into Hex, certainly good, but I think what is even more scary out of this Lion, you know, is once he does get that Blink Dagger going, just blink into Hex, just instant CC. You can't do anything about it. There's no counterplay, no time to react, and BKB basically are just stunned. And then from there, you know, the Earth Spike follows up, and then the rest of your team, by that point, will follow up, and the target is usually dead. So Lion, definitely one of the best gank setup heroes in the game. Ember Spirit also very good in his own right. Always excited to see a Ember Spirit game, especially out of position 2, as capable as Reem has shown himself to be over the course of the season so far.
But he's not only that, but he's just the presence on a map that an Ember Spirit can have, being able to charge around with their remnants. Bloodseeker has seen a rise in popularity as well. And I mean, going into the Lion Ember Spirit, Bloodseeker could do a lot of damage, not to mention, you know, you Bud Right locking down targets, getting the silence off, the Thirst setup as well. I mean, now GIGACHADELAIDE have to be very careful how about the macro game, how the other lanes are playing, because as soon as someone drops within that Thirst trigger range, where you see this Bloodseeker start to pop off, and Kid, I mean, I'm imagining it's Kid to pick up the Bloodseeker, could really start to spiral out of control.
Certainly is. Well, GIGACHADELAIDE not wanting to deal with that Bat Rider once again, and UOW Esports much in the same way, not wanting to deal with that Viper once again. Bit of bans that are atypical of Game 1. making some adjustments in this series, and honestly that's what makes these best of 3 series so much fun, is the little adjustments teams make from games to game.
Questioning, as much as Billy did manage to salvage things going into the late stage of the game, I can't honestly say that I think the Batrider is worthy of a ban in this situation, but I mean, maybe it's a case of GIGACHADELAIDE have an idea going down the line. There's something they want that freedom. They don't want to have to deal with the flaming lasso. But I mean, the Viper, yeah, it was pretty potent for Unleashed. He was able to interrupt and slow things down and really harass Kid in that long lane for University of Wollongong. Phantom Lance, I mean, it's a pretty safe ban all around. He's pretty strong at the moment. And same with the Night Stalker. Night Stalker is a real menace at the moment.
Yeah, definitely a very good position 3. Certainly up there. And obviously the Silence definitely is a bit of a thorn in the side of an Ember Spirit. So it makes sense to want to take him out of the equation, especially if you are running a Lion 5 who can't do too much about a Night Stalker. Just running him down once that nighttime does hit. Lion is very squishy. So not the most unreasonable of bans. I think we did see GIGACHADELAIDE take it away in game 1 as well. But Phantom Lance are actually going to be banned away from UOW Esports.
Mars? Honestly, this makes a lot of sense. Again, Mars is a very present hero at the moment in the competitive meta. Against the Bloodseeker, that arena is going to make things that much more difficult. The Spear as well for lockdown and setup for this team is something that, I mean, paired with a Lion and an Ember Spirit is going to be a huge amount of setup. The team fight as well would become pretty scary. So you can understand why Wollongong are taking that one away. GIGACHADELAIDE, I've got the next ban. What do they want to prioritize here? I mean, you want something, yeah, the Morphling. He's a real big scaler into the later stages of the game. If you can honestly just enable a Morphling, the potency that a decent POS 1, and we've seen that Kid is a very capable POS 1 can have, is well and truly understandable. Even Gubala could have picked that up and towards the mid lane as well.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So have to see exactly what GIGACHADELAIDE are going to opt to go for here. Morphling being their final ban of the ban phase. Going into the reserve time. Taking their time to think this one out. You have to exactly wonder what they're going for here. Could be going for a position 4. Could be going for a position 1. Position 3. Definitely a lot of things that they could go for. Spirit Breaker is still up. Something that they did pick fairly early last time. But no, it's going to be the Venomancer locked in here by GIGACHADELAIDE.
I do like that. The deterrent there onto the Bloodseeker, who is going to be looking to dive straight headfirst into the team fight with the Dawnbreaker as well. The Poison Nova, the Venomous Gale as well, is just going to be that much of a deterrent. Your Bloodseeker has to go and commit to taking a lot of magic damage and hope that he can survive through it.
5 seconds remaining.
So I do think GIGACHADELAIDE have pulled out the big brain play here. And honestly, it can go to any number of positions. You could chuck it in the off lane, you could sit it in POS 5, even safe lane if you're willing to get a bit risky with it. Hell, even you can even chuck it in the mid lane and look to dominate that way. But University of Wollongong now need to think about how heavily they want to commit to these team fights, whether it's, you know, play a drive-by style, go and hit one target, get out immediately again, or if they want to go for that all-in investment, which is what it's looking like. You got a Bloodseeker into the Solar Guardian and a Tusk as well. So Wollongong are looking to double down, go for that all-in commit.
Yeah, a lot of burst damage from Tusk. We'll have to watch out for that one. Final picks coming through for this phase, though, before we go to our final ban phase.
10 seconds remaining.
See exactly what UOW opt to go for. Again, both teams digging into their reserve time this late into the draft. UOW do have a little bit more of the, a little bit less stress on their side with, the one-game buffer in this series. And it is going to be the Vengeful Spirit, one of the better heroes in the meta at the moment with that Aghanims. Would imagine that is going to be going position 3 more than likely, which is where she's typically seen. And then having the position 4 Tusk in the POS 5 Dawnbreaker.
10 seconds.
What it's looking like, which then begs the question, where do Wollongong look to go for that POS 2? But at the moment, GIGACHADELAIDE, the ones with the response here, their 4th pick in this ban phase. And again, they're going to evaluate off the back of that Venge pick. But at the moment, I mean, Wollongong, they've got a heavy commit lineup. They want to be looking for the fight. And GIGACHADELAIDE with the Earth Spirit, just more utility to slow down this aggressive, head-first fighting style that Wollongong are going to be looking for. Not to mention a reasonably insane amount of lockdown of their own.
Yeah, it is a hard hero to pilot, but, ones that are able to pull it off definitely is one of the better ones for just being a menace, just in terms of just team fight utility, being able to, pull teammates, being able to stun enemies, and then, of course, magnetize incredible AoE damage in those fights. So we'll have to see exactly how this one goes. But I'm excited to see it. It's always a pleasure to watch. Final bans here, though. UOW Esports taking their time to think. If you're in their shoes, you probably want to be paying attention to position 1s, obviously. And exactly what position 1s.
That's the power of GIGACHADELAIDE's lineup at the moment. So obviously you're looking Lion, Earth Spirit in the duo support role. Ember, Veno, they could be flex. There is a lot of flexibility. I mean, yes, you're more likely than not, you're looking Ember, mid, Veno probably towards that POS 3 position, which is why we see that POS 1 Terrorblade banned out here by Wollongong, and the answer of a quat back reading into what Wollongong are bringing. But there is still flexibility. We could see a POS 1 Ember Spirit, POS 2 Venom answer, and they bring something else in that off lane. But it's really a question of how much GIGACHADELAIDE are willing to do that.
Dire team ban.
Certainly, it's going to be Terrorblade and Chaos Knight combined with the Phantom Lancer. Definitely do not want illusion heroes on this enemy team, it would seem. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You have Bloodseeker, who has single target Rupture. You have Tusk, who has the single target Walrus Punch. Vengeful Spirit, who has, Magic Missile and Swap. You only really want to be dealing with one hero. If you have to be trying to pick which one is the real one in those scenarios, those heroes just become, pretty statistically worse off. So banning out the illusion heroes does make a lot of sense for the UOW lineup. GIGACHADELAIDE much more afraid of these position 2s, taking out Queen of Pain, who is a bit of a nasty matchup for Ember Spirit to play into.
Slark final ban. Again, understandable. They've got a lot of single hero locked down and set up. And a Slark would have just compounded that. I mean, you look at the lineup there with a Slark and a Wollongong, anyone they isolated was dead. There's just no way to get around that. So taking that out of the picture makes a lot of sense. Which does leave Wollongong with about 30-odd seconds to decide where they want to go with their final pick here at the moment. And then obviously GIGACHADELAIDE will get that response. But Wollongong, deep in thought at the moment, want to make sure that they pick the right hero to fit this. And honestly, I mean, it's a real head scratcher as to what it could be. They are looking to fight. That is their draft here at the moment. Final pick coming on through. It's going to be a Templar Assassin. So hard hitting, fast hitting, and a bit of global pressure as well with those psionic traps when they come into play. Now GIGACHADELAIDE with the response. I mean, Wollongong, they've set themselves a tall task.
Yeah, I mean, TA does kind of fit what this team needs, is a hyperscaler. Bloodseeker is a POS 1 that sort of falls off a little bit. He's definitely not as good late game as maybe one of the position 1s that they'll pick here. So TA in the mid lane just does give them a little bit of that hyper late game insurance. She can, get those meld crits late game that will just one-shot people, so makes a lot of sense grabbing her up here. Also has a really good lane into the Ember Spirit as well. Refraction stops the typical Ember Spirit spam slider fist until you're forced out of lane strategy.
I mean, where do they go? I mean, they've got a decent amount. In fact, they've got almost an insane amount of magic damage at the side of GIGACHADELAIDE, so they want someone who is going to bring a bit of that right-click threat. And with the likes of the Weaver, with the Phantom Lancer, Chaos Knight all off the board, it's going to be a Wraith King. So that's right click, and he did receive a bit of a buff, 10% extra crit damage at all levels.
Makes a lot of sense. It's actually going to be Reem rocking the Earth Spirit. Makes you wonder if it's going to be Earth Spirit position 2. Could be.
It's the craziest that we have seen it previously. So it's not something that is completely out of left field. So look, I'm keen to see it run. I wonder if that's gonna have as good a lane against Skubala as they would have thought. But I would imagine if it is going to be Reem heading into the mid lane with this, Earth Spirit, it's going to be a passive lane. You don't want to be forcing anything. You want to play around at those supports again. And at the moment, it's looking like it's a support Wraith King.
Potentially. This is interesting though, because we did see Andros pick up the Ember Spirit here. Whether or not he is going to be playing POS 4 Ember is yet to be seen.
Oh, getting ourselves out on the map. Of course, Kid has picked up the Bloodseek and the Vilama straight onto the tusk, looking to do what he can there. So really, it is just sort of as you would expect out of the side of Wollongong here. But yeah, Reem it's a mid lane Earth Spirit. Would you believe it? And actually, this is looking like it might be... Yeah, it's looking like it might be a POS 1 Wraith King, a POS 3 Venomancer, and a support Ember Spirit.
That's definitely very interesting. I mean, it has some lockdown, I guess, but you know, the thing about Ember is normally you are a little bit farm reliant in getting your items going so that your Sleight of Fist damage is nice and tanky, and as well as that, he does like the position 2 mid lane because getting Remnants online early is nice and good, and he is a very good ganker, so I'm not too sure how he'll go in the position 4 role. I can't say I've actually ever seen it myself, but if he doesn't have too hard of a lane, I can't imagine it being awful.
I think it's just about stacking up that magic damage. The more you can burn through your opponents, the better. At the moment, a lot of posturing around runes, and it looks like we might just see that straight 2-2 swap.
The battle
Yeah,
begins.
no real contest. They were posturing for it, and off the back of that, old Cyrillic, the Lion, will spot out players and get that ward down, but it is spotted in turn by University of Wollongong.
Certainly is. A lot of pings coming through right now from Lion. He's going to get hit up by the magic missile though, and might end up dying here. Great 3-man Earth Spike though, might buy him a little bit of time. And yes, indeed, he's going to get out there to safety.
Magic missile's up again, so they might just be able to get the stop on Cyrillic here. Lion running, will be spotted. Another magic missile. I don't know if they have enough to get the kill here this time. Billy got obviously that second kill in our last match, but yeah, no, he's just beefy enough to get out.
He pops the salve to keep himself nice and topped up, but this is going to be Billy the Brawler on the POS 3 Venge, like we thought. And MBTW on that position 4 Dawnbreaker.
Oh no, down in the bot lane, the Blood Right. Unleashed is Unleashed is dead. I mean, how many times have we seen it now, Kadius, where the support steps away for just a brief moment, and then all of a sudden his lane partner is dead.
Yeah, and it's really sad to see, right? Because normally it's the other way around. You normally have the position 3, position 4 being the ones to force the POS 1 out of lane. That's kind of their goal, right? Their job is to force this position 1 out of the lane to go for the jungle farm. Because obviously lane farm is superior a lot of the time. So you don't want him to be sitting there free farming. So you put the pressure on, but you know, he's not doing that right now. He is just literally feeding Kid multiple kills time after time. Kid sitting at a nice 2-0 at only 152 into the game. Divide Llama does have to be very careful.
Oh boy.
I think they were just baiting Homer's Degenerate, wanting him to push that little bit further forward, but a Sleight of Fist Searing Chain starts, so they are looking to stack up the magic damage. Unfortunately, you know, Unleashed only just got back to lane, so TP is still on a 30-second cooldown as they rotate back in. And Reem as well is not having the best of starts.
Yeah, certainly not. Meanwhile, on the top side, they're going to find a cheeky pickup onto Lion.
Okay, that was a suicide to neutrals. He take that. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was to the tower. Close enough, but I mean, look, it's the fastest way back to base. It always has been in the game of Dota. But look, a 3-1 advantage in terms of the kills. They are edging closer to 3k total lead, and already their lanes are doing work at the moment. So far for Wollongong, they are having a pretty great time. I don't know what Reem can actually do in this mid lane against the TA without external involvement.
Yeah, Magnetize is definitely a really good tool at melting down refraction, obviously, but before then, it's going to be a little rough.
They're looking for something in the bot lane, or unfortunately the ice shards didn't quite connect in the way they wanted to. If it had, that was probably a dead Ember Spirit. They're looking for the re-engage, but it's inadvisable. You only got a level 2 Veno right now. That's not a huge amount of damage. Has at least got the urn.
Yeah, probably going to be building that one up into the Spirit Vessel, I would imagine. It's usually the first item on these Venos. Looking for the 2 points in W, which is always good to see.
Have to hit that 4-minute mark, so a couple of runes in, and they're looking to do what they can to deny Gubala at the moment. Unfortunately, is having a pretty comfortable lane. They're trying to free up Reem to pick up a couple of water runes here, look a bit more survivable. Has just picked up the bottle as well, so things should start to become a little bit easier now that he can start to pick those up. But you look at that, already 1 stack in the Ancient Camp for Gubala down in the bot lane. Divine Llama falls as well, and this Veno Ember Spirit lane, surprisingly, is pretty scary.
Yeah, so one thing about Veno that is a little bit underrated is the hero is actually fairly weak, level 1, and still quite weak level 2, but level 3 is easily when Veno comes online due to the second point in Poison Sting. If you look at the stats here, the damage jumps up from 6 to 14 per second, and the duration goes from 6 seconds to 9, so it's well over double the damage, just going from level 2 to level 3 and getting that second point, so it's basically a whole nother hero in the pressure that he can output in the lane once he does get that spike going, and we're seeing exactly how much that's paying off here as well.
I see. 2 more quick kills over towards the top side of things is going to make that and solidify the 1k gold lead. And this Wraith King honestly is having a pretty easy time, but Billy keeps trying to force, with the help of old MBTW on the Dawnbreaker. They can't find anything once again. I mean, this is just insanity. Like, this Wraith King is level 5 to Billy's level 3. That's so much freedom, and if they don't do something to shut this Wraith King down, it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah, I mean, he is a Wraith King. He's got his maxed skeletons, as you do.
Homeless Degenerate is looking for info, trying to find Gubala. Might even look for a Sleight of Fist over the wall. The Psionic Trap onto the rune spot spotted, but they can't destroy it. But that is an Arcane in the pocket for Reem. If they look to engage here, that's exactly what they're doing. Oh no, Gubala could be in trouble.
Yeah, the Magnetize is popped, like we mentioned, to melt through those dispersion stacks, but the damage, so heavy. Reem has to watch out here. Gubala's just going to back off. Let that Magnetize damage tick, but we saw how fast the refraction stacks melted through thanks to that Earth Spirit ultimate, and that's definitely why they've picked this matchup here.
Oh, Gubala is going to snag the rune. I don't know if Homeless Degenerate... Yeah, oh no, he does! He does, just with the burn of the Searing Chains. That was enough to take down Gubala, and a minor misplay there.
Yeah, I mean, Homeless Degenerate, thanks to the kills that he's gotten in bot side, picks up the Orb of Corrosion. Definitely some big damage. Meanwhile, though, top side, Hugh gets hit by the Magic Missile. Going to turn around, though, look to get aggressive onto MBTW. And they're just going to walk away without taking any losses there, but certainly very scary in the early game to fight into the Wraith King when he's got all his skeletons around like he has right now.
Oh, Kid down the bot lane is just run it down. Oh, he's going to die. He's going to die, yeah. They almost had the kill onto Unleashed. They almost had the perfect Ice Shard, the tag team dishing out damage, but this Urn of Shadows is so beefy. Oh no, Divine Llama may have just been found as well, and it's looking good.
Ooh, yep, the Earth Spike's going to connect. Double kill for the Lion. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Divine Llama, one more will do it onto Reem. No, he is going to live, and that is going to be Divine Llama being the one taken down.
University League. It's just constant fighting. That's all it is. And yeah, we've got another game. We're before 9 minutes and we've got 14 kills, but this time it is GIGACHADELAIDE who are stomping through. One redeeming factor though has to be said. Gubala now has what, almost a quad stack. I think it is. Yeah, a quad stack on this Ancient Camp. It's being pinged out by old Cyrillic on the Lion, but the pings are the engaged top lane.
Hugh does have to watch out. The snowball coming through. That's going to be a very dead Wraith King. No ultimate available thanks to that previous fight in the top side. Quick and easy pick up there for the UOW boys.
They are looking for this stack, though. I don't know if they have enough damage to clear it out. No, look, they've got the wards down, so at least they're going to clear out the traps. The pings are there. I think if they commit to this, they're going to lose. They're going to lose this fight. And yeah, we do see MBTW going in, about to be jumped on. Divine Llama's there as well. Okay, never mind. There's just no one big enough in support nearby.
Yeah, Magnetize dropped by Reem. So much damage this early into the game on that ultimate. And again, the CC is there. They don't even need the line to be level 6 for the Finger of Death.
Dire's middle tower
Damage that is just not needed, but you are right, they probably don't have enough damage to take down their stack just yet. They're just going to back off, try and make sure they maintain control of it, not let anybody else farm it for now while they push out the mid lane.
It's good ward coverage though, so they have full vision of the spot triangle, so they can see top to bottom, know as soon as anyone is going for that camp. MBTW, yeah, looking to clear things out on the ward. I'm not sure about the placement there though, champ. And MBTW just trying to escape. Might just be able to get away. No, never mind. That's unfortunate.
Yep, Reem does have roll coming back up, and it's not even needed as Finger of Death does come through from the Lion. He's hit level 6 since that last engage. In comes Tusk though. Davai Lama looking to de-ward a little bit. Reem might get caught out here by Gubala Invisible. There it is, the damage coming through. Tries to roll away, but the snowball is there to follow up. And Gubala, one more good attack will do the trick. There it is. That is going to be a nice little pickup for the UOW mid laner. And they've also managed to take down that cheeky observer that was in their vision spot.
But they've placed the sentry. Look at the sentry. It's just at the top left corner. So this camp is blocked up once more, unfortunately, but hey, they're just going to farm it up. They're going to clear it out. It's going to be big gold in the pocket of Gubala there.
Certainly is, but yeah, TA very good at taking stacks. Going to be able to melt these ones down with the psionic traps as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They might have found Hugh actually. Dawnbreaker ultimate comes through. First life of Wraith King is down already. Lion getting chased out and bullied by the Tusk. Swap comes through though. Try and get Gubala a little bit out to safety as reinforcements arrive for the GIGACHADELAIDE boys. Reem going in, one last hurrah. Suicides himself to take down MPTW, but they do find themselves a nice little turnaround onto Hugh, and now the GIGACHADELAIDE boys are the ones in full retreat. Lion, quite low, pops the wand to get himself a little bit of health. And now it is going to be Andros, the one that is going to go down next. The damage is there. Massive 3-man Ice Spike. In comes Unleashed, though. Popping the Venomancer ulti. The burn damage, it's unreal. Forces out 2 TPs and finishes off the one left behind. Davai Lama, not so lucky. It's going to be the Bloodseeker to run all the way out from that fight with the Thirst Stacks. Still ticking with the Venomancer ult, but he's going to live to see another day as he runs down to catch this bot side farm.
Just tanks it on through. That extra 150 health of the Orb of Corrosion, just going to keep them in it. This Lion is trying to do what damage he can to the stack. This has been a huge fighting point over the last several minutes. He gets one of the smaller dragons, but that is unfortunately about it for now. So Gubala should be able to come back, clear that one out. They haven't got the Sentry Wood, which is still blocking the camp up. An illusion found will be sent back towards the the thicker things there to look for that information. And look, for now things cooled down. But you look at how aggressive GIGACHADELAIDE are. This is what we saw out of Wollongong last match. Now it's GIGACHADELAIDE who are the ones determining momentum.
Radiant's middle tower is
Gubala just farming this one down. Finally does get that nice juicy ancient stack. Looking to go for a Desolator first up. Not going to opt to go for the Dragon Lance this game. You know, normally you can either go straight into the Desolator or go for the Dragon Lance first. Just depends on whether or not you want that extra little bit of strength, that extra little bit of tankiness against this team. Which, you know, you are playing against Lion with the Finger of Death, so a little bit interesting. But nevertheless, maybe he just thinks Refraction is good enough here. There's going to be a big engage in the mid lane, though. Walrus Punch onto Reem. He's going to get melted down immediately. MBTW coming in with the ult is going to get caught up by the Finger of Death by Lion as he tries to make his retreat. Now Homeless Degenerate looking to go forward is going to tag up Davai Lama. with the sleight of fist, but Gubala gonna hit him with the deny, not letting that gold go over to the side of GIGACHADELAIDE.
Well, in the industry, we call that one Uber Eats. Just drops in, and a free finger of death kill there. Picked up nice and clearly. Okay, it looks like that sentry isn't in place to block the camp. That's interesting, but oh no. Well, Billy's been caught. The searing chains, but the positioning of his teammates is enough for Billy to escape.
Yeah, GIGACHADELAIDE have definitely had some dominant control of this triangle over the course of this game, not allowing this topside farm to go freely. They might have found themselves a nice little engage on the kid, though, here, who is getting melted down. Surely going to be a very dead Bloodseeker. Billy the Brawler, much in the same way, caught between a rock and a hard place. He's going to be the next target on their list. He's going to get taken down. And now the boys of GIGACHADELAIDE march down towards this top lane tier 1 tower, looking to melt it down, give themselves even more space. And honestly, fairly smart decision here. You take down this top lane tier 1 tower, all of a sudden that opens up the triangle for you guys that you've been so desperately fighting for control over.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Off the back of that, I mean, look, it's money in the bank, it's experience as well. Losing out, it's unfortunate. The fact that there is a 10 kill disparity before the 15-minute mark. There are 28 kills in a 15-minute game so far. And we see the armlet. We have a Radiance queued up here next for Hugh, and he's, what, a good 2,300 through that Sacred Relic already. He's making good time of it. And then you look at this off-lane Veno. Spirit Vessel recipe is there. Good to go. He almost has the forced up, caught up, plus that Hood of Defiance in the back pocket as well. They're looking for it. A big engage down the bot side.
Yeah, Divine Llama is unfortunately not in the right spot. Gets caught out alongside Gubala. They do get a bit of a kill of their own over onto Reem, but if you look at the fight recap here, it's definitely not in their favor. The gold swing and XP vastly in the favor of UOW.
Again, it feels very similar to last game. There are questionable decisions being made that are costing both sides. At the moment, again, it's Wollongong who are making the more questionable of those decisions. There's no reason for them to be as deep as that. They shouldn't be getting caught out like that. They have some great farmers. Play the jungle, play the time game. Don't commit as deeply as they are. I mean, they shouldn't be fighting at the moment anyway. Look at Kid. He's only just finished his Maelstrom. They do get a kill towards that mid lane. Billy goes in with the nether swap and setup, but it's those little things. That's the little objectives that they're taking. Get a kill onto the support. Push the wave in. That's what they need to be doing, not these big, heavy commitments that we are seeing.
Yeah, Hugh's just hitting creeps, trying to save up for that Radiance. Pretty typical stuff for a Wraith King around this minute mark, but, you know, he did actually delay his Radiance, which is interesting because he did go for Armlet. You know, Armlet, fairly interesting. Normally it is sort of Armlet or Radiance, but going for both here is an interesting one. Armlet kind of, you know, posturing more towards, you know, I'm just gonna fight early, whereas Radiance is more so, you know, I'm just gonna be on, I'm gonna be passive, I'm gonna be farming. Yeah, going for both is interesting. It's not something that I've seen all too often, but, you know, he's so rich right now, why not? Why not just grab yourself a cheeky little Radiance?
I mean, he's been largely untouched throughout the laning phase. At the moment, he's what? Yeah, 5-2. So he's been getting kills. He's been getting farmed. They're playing around this three-man smoke towards the mid side. Reem has shoved the tower in. They are going for a cheeky Rosh, though. And Divine Llama, if he died there, probably would have given away the game. But with Gubala, the Desolator in hand, the Meld as well, it's just going to shred on through. And not to mention the Wave of Terror as well. It's not the fastest of Roshes, but oh no, Reem's here.
Yeah, Reem does actually get in there in the nick of time. Gubala's going to find the Aegis, but it's going to get popped almost immediately. And now all of the boys of this UOW lineup are gathered around, looking to end the life of this TA. Great little swap over the wall, though, is going to find themselves a potential second pick. He did try to get Gubala out to safety, but unfortunately Lion was there, waiting in the wings with the Finger of Death. And they're all just going to get melted down. That's going to be 4 kills for the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup.
We are rapidly approaching the 2 kills a minute mark. We're 36. Yeah, we hit it. We've hit it. We are 2 kills a minute right now. 36 kills at 18 minutes. And off that, I mean, the questionable rush gets punished. They were able to jump on it. The swap just feeding the kill onto Gubala. And all of a sudden, they're starting to threaten this tier 2. And there's really not much that can be done. There's a fortification to stall out. Kid's still about 9 seconds away. Gubala's just come up, but I mean, for them to want to commit here, there's still a Poison Nova. There's still a Reincarnation as well. So even if they do jump on one of these 2 targets, it's going to be at great cost.
Certainly is Unleashed. We're going to grab that 4-staff next. Makes a lot of sense, obviously. 4-staff good against a lineup that does have this many stuns. You know, you've the Magic Missile. Things of that nature. Being able to 4-staff an ally out of them is definitely going to be great. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, big engage going on. MBTW coming down with the ultimate. The double stuns are stacking on top of Andros. He's going to be kill number 1. Unleash getting a massive Venomancer ultimate onto the entire enemy team. Big Earth Spike as well. Connects onto 3. Magnetized from Reem. It is just a slaughter. The GIGACHADELAIDE boys are washing over the lineup of UOW. It was looking bad, but then the reinforcements arrived, and now they're looking to take it all the way down the mid lane.
And 4 for 2, 100% you take that. Leo, no, Hugh, sorry, not Leo. Hugh has the Radiance as well. He's going to be able to toggle the armor. That could have been risky. He was at what, 50 odd health? Could have been taken out by the jungle camp there. But for now, he's going to get the crit off. He's going to heal up nicely off the back of it. He's going to be fine for the moment. They get the tier 2. We're still just about to hit that 20-minute mark. And that's what, 1, 2, 4 external towers off the board. And a 4k gold lead. With Rush down as well, having been burnt by University of Wollongong.
Yeah, interesting that we are seeing Reem look for the Aghanims next. That's going to be exciting to watch. It's fairly close to it. Meanwhile, though, looking to maybe converge down onto MBTW here. Does have to watch out. Realizes he's in trouble.
Yeah, this is probably a pretty dead Dawnbreaker.
Ooh, tries to get the cheeky TP out of there. Tries to juke him out, but not having any of it, as Lion is going to find the nice Earth Spike. Popping the spray as well.
Sitting here in my head, like trying to think, what is the win condition that Wollongong play around to get themselves back in it? But I'm always one. You never count yourself out of a game. Never say surrender unless you're absolutely done. And unfortunately, it feels like we are rapidly approaching that position where it is probably best to just go next. You with the TP out towards the mid lane, looking for the fight. Billy's, well, dead again, unfortunately.
He is. Meanwhile, we do have Davai Lama caught lacking. Kid pops the Rupture on Reem as he tries to roll away. Cheesing out a cheeky little kill. I love to see it.
Once again, it's these small skirmishes that are just stacking up every single time. A blink engage on a kid in the top lane. The Earth Spike, unfortunately, with very limited follow-up, given the lack of proximity for anyone nearby that can actually punch. But look at that, coming out of the courier. We do see the Blink Dagger for Hugh as well. The Ags finished up for Reem. There is an insane amount of engaged potential. And we are 1 item away, 300 odd gold away from Homeless Degenerate's own Ags as well.
Yeah, and as we all know, Aghanims is definitely very spicy on Ember Spirit. And Ember Spirit, you know, he's definitely behind Reem in terms of the net worth, but, you know, he is farming up. He's certainly not playing a very, like, super support-centric Ember game. He is definitely getting his neutral farm here, looking to stack it up, whereas Reem, you know, has been buying the smokes. Has been just kind of sitting in the mid lane. So, I do think, you know, maybe position for Ember, but still, nevertheless, a farming Ember. So he'll be able to get that Aghanims, look for the Shard next.
I mean, just look how deep GIGACHADELAIDEs are right now. You look at the line, it's almost across between the tier 1 and tier 2. Big engage on the kid at the top lane, he's about to go down as well.
Yeah, that's double damage rune on Hugh, and that is all she wrote, unfortunately. He's just going to run in there, pop the stun. In comes Unleashed with the 4-staff. Bops the bail, and there is just absolutely nowhere you can go from that point onwards. But, you know, Venomancer very strong at this point of the game in terms of pushing down these towers. Does have those Plague Wards up on a very low cooldown and is likely going to be using them to great effect. Meanwhile, Kubala maybe getting caught out on the bot side here, gets hit by the dust as he tries to meld away. In comes Not My Fault though, and they might actually have this turned around with MBTW with the great global ultimate. Kubala does have the TP out, yes indeed, and Unleashed gonna get finished off there by the two supports of the lineup. In comes Hugh though, looking to maybe get some revenge for the rest of his team. MBTW attempting to TP away. In goes Hugh. Davai Lama may be able to turn this one around with a well-placed Walrus Punch, and I guess it wasn't on cooldown because Hugh is just going to turn around and smack him a couple times with that armlet toggle. Beautifully done.
Money changes hands.
Kubala got the TP out, but the damage was just too big with the Spirit Vessel and the Poison Nova, so unfortunately false victories coming out there. They lose 2, they gain 2, but losing out Gubala again, it's just going to slow things down. Gubala is desperately trying to build up this BKB, not quite getting there. I mean, honestly, I'd be surprised if we see the BKB done before this match ends with the momentum that GIGACHADELAIDE have.
It certainly is. Reem does have his Aghanims online here, which is going to be good. Do pop the smoke. Hugh isn't going to get tagged by it, which is unfortunate, but pop a second smoke. Alright, good.
Everybody loves a full 5-man smoke and just posturing around the mid lane. They have some choice targets. Kid could die again here. Yeah, he's been found.
Yeah, they're going to find Kid with the Shackles. BKB is popped. He pops the Rupture onto Reem, who's looking to back himself away here from Tusk, who does pop the Walrus Punch. Reem is end up using the Remnant Aghanims on himself to buy himself a little bit of space, and it's going to be just what he needs. Swap comes through to try and kill him with the Rupture, but it was tagged off. Kid is there to finish him off nonetheless. Meanwhile, Hugh down in the bot side of this fight. Godlike with the double kill, just running an absolute rampage. Billy the Brawler going to be his next target. Going to get caught up by the Shackles from Homeless Degenerate. One more crit, and that is Hugh with the triple kill going beyond Godlike.
And I mean, this has just been the storyline of this match so far. University of Wollongong just getting picked off time and time again. No reason he should actually go down, and yeah, he's just going to sneak himself away. Gets the armlet toggle off, he's good. He's spotted. They know where he is because of the thirst, but there's zero potential for them to actually pick him up. 13-2, absolutely stacked in the net worth department. He's good 5k clear of Gubala, who is the next highest at the moment. I mean, you talk about scary gold per minute. He's cracked almost 630.
Both teams just playing the patient game here. Might have found themselves a nice little pick. Remnant forward to bring Divine Llama further into their own territory. Gonna turn around and pop the chains onto him, but there is Hugh, this Wraith King. Look at the net worth in the top left right here. Absolutely monstrous. Hugh gonna pop the BKB, try and TP out to safety, and it's gonna work in his favor. But will MBTW be so lucky? Oh, he actually overshot, and he's gonna find Gubala. That wasn't even intentional. Pops the Aghanims onto him to wait for the rest of the team to arrive. Yes, indeed. Hugh gonna grab that one as well. Beyond godlike on this Wraith King once again. He is just absolutely unstoppable at this stage, and GIGACHADELAIDE, honestly, limitless options on what they want to do next.
I think it was Bob Ross that said it best, happy little accident, and the overall translates into a kill. 22 seconds away from Rosh respawning. Reem decides that he hasn't got the patience to wait for it. Honestly, they probably don't even need it. That BKB for Gubala is still a good 600 gold away from being completed right now. As this mid lane push coming through, they could, theoretically clear out the tier 3 and maybe look to go Rex, but it's probably more than they want to bite off, given that Kid is still available, up and alive, still has that Rupture to him. But yeah, look at him, he's got a BKB, a Maelstrom, an Orb Corrosion, and he's still looking to get that Sanj and Yasha completed.
Certainly a very big lad. Hugh is, we're going to go for Moonshard next, by the looks. Quite spicy.
Just, again, a lot of questions, and it's hard to try and comprehend the answers to what they are. And yeah, I'm not surprised he's going for the moonshot. You look at just how stacked he is. He's got the Radiance, the Armlet, the Blink, the Assault Cuirass, so why not go for extra attack speed? Nah, just going to commit to this rush. The Psionic Trap is there, but realistically, what chance do University of Wollongong have to even contest this right now? If they go in, they're basically dead.
Yeah, but whether or not they will choose to contest is yet to be seen. It looks like the answer is no. As Hugh is going to maybe grab this one. Maybe they'll give it away to someone else. Not too sure. Either way, a Wraith King with 3 lives is definitely very hard to bring down. Also has the shard on him. Not sure who that one's going to go away to. Might go away to him as well. The mana cost and reanimation is a little on the nice side. Yep, it is indeed.
I mean, just look at how insanely stacked this GIGACHADELAIDE's roster is. I mean, what? Earth Spirit, 2,700 health. Homeless Degenerate, 2,100. Unleashed, sitting 2,200. Those 3 on their own are going to be hard to kill. And then you look at Hugh, who, yeah, he's only sitting 2k, but that's without the Armlet toggled. He's picked up the Mindbreaker as well to switch out for the Fey Grenade. He's going to be hitting absolutely... Like, the guy's just going to be hitting like a freight train. And unfortunately... Oh, no. Oh, this could be huge. They found one. They're probably going to find 2. They engaged just by the tier 1.
Oh, barely TPing out of there in time. If Reem had found him, that definitely would have been an Enchant Revenant into a cheeky kill.
Oh, Billy, you can't be getting caught like that. Just look at the damage that he's taken right... Oh,
yeah, the slow is enough. Reem going to kick him right over the wall into the rest of his team. Oh my goodness. Tries to swap himself out to safety. The Aghanim's spirit is there, but it's just too much CC. He's going to get taken down not once, but twice as well. And remember, they do have this Aegis on Hugh, so not only do they have to somehow figure out a way to kill this 21,000 net worth Wraith King once, not only do they have to figure out a way to kill him twice, but 3 times before he's going to finally go down in a fight. And you just have to be sitting there as the lineup on the side of UOW and wonder how it's possible. I'm surprised GGs have not been called yet. They're definitely very, very, very high-spirited to last out this long.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, at the moment, is it almost worth just going next? Because this map is going to be... you're probably looking to drag it out almost 60 minutes if you want to bring it back. Reba's going hella deep right now, gets himself out with the properties of the stone. I admire the risk, but I think it might be a bit showy for a situation like this.
Just star points, really, and the Plague Wards, as we mentioned, from Unleashed, just melting down the racks. Clearing out this mid lane. We're going to scale up, obviously level 25, pretty significant for Veno. Gets access to the Plague Ward HP and damage, makes them very annoying to kill.
The one added benefit, though, that does need to be addressed is the wave clear is actually pretty solid for the side of University of Wollongong. Having the Psy Blades for Gubala, he can actually clear them out quite quickly. He's also working towards the Dateless with the 4-man smoke. If they can find a pick-off here, it could alleviate some of that pressure that's been mounting.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to do all of that, though. Just going to try and check the vicinity around this mid lane, make sure it's nice and safe to push up and farm. Yes, indeed. They're going to chase down MBTW, but he's going to live to see another day. I'm going to find him just yet. But GIGACHADELAIDE, definitely the ones with a chokehold over this game.
We saw that a couple of times last game for them as well, but unfortunately, the lineup for University of Wollongong, honestly, I'd just say a little bit better at being able to deal with things going into the late game. They had that ramp up, but look at they've traded sides of the map. And I suppose you take advantages where you can, sniping out Hughes Courier. Unfortunately, it is going to cost them their racks in the mid lane.
Yep, Hughes is going to grab that one. Still does have Aegis online. Going to get caught up in the ice shards, but realistically, who's going to be able to bring this guy down? He's got Reanimate online still, along with that Aegis. 3 lives to his name. Very tanky lad.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, he almost died to the tower there. Cheeky. Gubala is off doing his own thing while the team defends, which is interesting. They do get the reincarnation, and with 47 seconds left in the Aegis, GIGACHADELAIDE might just look to force the issue.
Radiant's top
Maybe. They do have Kid, who has his BKB completed now. The initiation is there from Reem, gonna go in. Damage though, Rupture popped, so is Poison Nova. And my goodness, just look at the health bars on this UOW lineup. GIGACHADELAIDE were able to bring down the Aegis on Hugh, but again, 3 lives. He's still got 1 remaining. Whether or not they're going to be able to take that one down is going to be the deciding factor here. And right now, it is looking like no, as the Tusk is going to go in and unfortunately find nothing but his own demise. And that's probably going to be another set of racks here, unless Gubala joining the fray can make the difference. We'll have to wait and see. He's popping the right clicks onto Hugh, but Hugh is just a walking tank of a machine right now, finding 1 kill, finding 2 kills, and now he's looking for the racks as well. Just walking around the place like he owns it. He's got Reanimate up once again right now, so they have to kill him twice still. Absolutely monstrous, this Wraith King.
I mean, they are going to back off. I think that's the smart play, honestly, the situation. They probably could have kept trying to force, but realistically, a lot of key ultimates down. Magnetize only just coming up now, and obviously with the Earth Spirit being dead, Poison Nova still a 30 seconds off. Finger about to come up as well. So yeah, they play it safe. They back off. They look to clear out the waves and push them back towards their opponents right now. But 2 lanes of racks, if they can get this third. I mean, honestly, just a big fight here would be enough to seal the deal, and I reckon the GGs would be cool.
Yeah, only 1 row of racks remaining, and honestly, GIGACHADELAIDE have no qualms just waiting this one out for next Roshan if they need to. It's only 1:50 away, and then they can just march right down the bottom side, have Hugh walk up like he did last time, and claim the final set of racks to get Mega Creeps, and once that happens, I mean, the rest is history. Coming back against Mega Creeps when you're this far behind. I mean, I've seen unlikelier games of Dota, but they're a statistical anomaly, to say the least.
Roll in. Reema's just nonplussed. He doesn't care. He's got the Lincolns. He's, what, 3k? Just cracked 3k health, and that's with int treads as well. He's sitting 3.2 when he's got the strength treads on. He's about to crack 20, which is that extra spell amplification. They're looking to shove in the spot lane, but you look at... You've gone and forced top, but MBTW. Homeless Degenerate has the Remnant, so he can just teleport up here, clear it out, and he's straight back down in the bot lane looking to go. Just everything. All the cards in hand are indicating that this is going to be the big fight. Yeah, certainly is, and GIGACHADELAIDE looks like Hugh is going to make the first move, blinking up to the high ground like we said. No Aegis for his name this time, but he does have the Reanimate. Reem going to be going in, kicking himself back to safety once again, looking stylish. The glyph is used. Hugh going to get swapped back, hit by the magic missile, and maybe going down here. Yes, indeed. First life down for Hugh. Then we have to kill him 1 more time. Billy the Brawler, unfortunately, going to have his Aghanims popped by the Lion with well-placed Finger of Death. In comes a big Dawnbreaker stun, though. It's going to connect onto a lot of key targets. Reem going to get melted down in the middle of things. They actually have managed to take down Hugh, so this is probably the best chance they have at winning a fight in quite some time. No Finger of Death on Lion just yet. Gubala in the backside doing so much damage, looking to chase down Unleashed here. Couple more attacks will do the trick. He's got that haste rune behind him to chase him down. Well, it's going to make it nice and easy. Kid going to pick that one up for a double kill. And UOW winning a fight with a 15k gold disadvantage or something like that. Absolutely crazy. Not just that, the bot tier 1 survived on 23 points of health. So, look, you take it where you can. A 4 for 2 is something that you're always going to take. You look at the gold swing, the experience swing, 14,000 experience picked up for the side of University of Wollongong. A 4.8k gold swing as well is nothing to blow your nose at. And you just look at how things are going. Kids slowly getting back into it. The Daedalus very nearly complete, not to mention the fact that we see the Penta Edge sword picked up. That'll probably be going in the hands of Kid, or maybe that he keeps Titan Sliver. He's got some good options. That's all you could really say. But it's a brief reprieve, and it will keep things going a little bit longer. But I just don't see University of Wollongong with the late game they need to bring this one back.
Yeah, definitely, it is looking shaky for GIGACHADELAIDE trying to close this one out, but And whether or not they'll be able to, that remains to be seen. They might have the scaling advantage, honestly, with a Templar Assassin behind them, combined with, you know, obviously Vengeful Spirit is just always relevant. Vengeance Aura, obviously going to be very, very solid here in these team fights. They might have found themselves a cheeky little pickup here, though, onto Gubala, kicking it all the way back down towards Roche Pit. Does pop the BKB, though, but Reem is going to pay for it with his life. And Gubala doesn't even look like he's going to go down, so that was just a straight-up int by Reem.
That really does seem to just be the deciding factor at the moment. Who can avoid inting the hardest right now? And the gold swing again is pretty significant. You attacking like an absolute truck. Devi walks up, he's tagged, he's slowed, he's hexed. The Solar Guardian, it's a pretty heavy commit to try and keep your support Tusk alive.
It certainly is. Aeon Disc is going to get popped by the line, though. In comes the Poison Nova from Unleashed. Looking to try and force up himself up to the high ground to get away from Kid, who is hot on his tails. Does have the halberd to buy himself some time, though, in this 1v1. Turns it around, and Hugh, meanwhile, running a rampage like he normally does. Double kill for himself. Looking to make it a triple kill onto Billy the Brawler. No, actually, that's just his Aghanims, so it's not going to be a triple kill. He's just going to have to kill him twice. But Roshan is up yet again, and Hugh is looking to have it for dinner.
Yeah, I mean, this should be it. This should be the straw, I suppose, that breaks the camel's back. They pick up the Roshan. He's also got the Swift Blink as well, so not only is he hitting like a truck, he's hitting incredibly fast as well. On top of that, he's hit 25, which means Mortal Strike cooldown is now just 2 seconds. The Refresher Shard there, which is going to mean, yeah, pretty simply, interesting. No, it's still on the ground. Are we going to see double Magnetize? I think that is the call that's been made here, rather than a double Poison Nova. But look, I mean, with the amount of work Reem's been doing, the guy deserves it. Look, give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also about, like, all of Earth Spirit's other abilities as well. I don't know if you can actually stack Poison Nova twice on people, because you can only be affected by the debuff once, I think, and if you ult again, I think it just refreshes the buff. I could be wrong on that. Maybe you can get Poison Nova twice, but whereas, you know, if you give it to Reem, he's able to kind of go in, kick someone, and then make himself with the Aghanims into a Stone Remnant, and then kick himself out to safety as well. There's just a whole lot, you know, he can roll twice as well, so there's a whole lot of plays that can be made on Earth Spirit if you do have that Refresher Shard, so it does make a little bit of sense. We'll just have to wait and see exactly how he uses it. But yeah, on the topic of Hugh with Swift Blink, does make you wonder if maybe Swift Blink is a little bit overtuned, if Position 1 Strength Cores are going Swift Blink over the Overwhelming Blink.
Well, I mean, Overwhelming is... It's more geared towards sort of a bursty style of play, obviously. It does an AoE around you once you've blinked in, whereas you've got a Wraith King, a right-clicker, a heavy right-clicker at that with the Mortal Strike. I think, yeah, of course, you're probably going to want to take the attack speed rather than anything. That plus the phase, plus an extra 50 attack damage for 6 seconds. So, I don't see why you wouldn't want to bring it. I would imagine that it'd probably be a bad time if you go for the Overwhelming Blink and then realize, actually, I'm attacking slower than I was a moment ago. But there we go, the reconnect coming on through the cheese. Reem can now freely jump into the middle of a fight, take in a huge amount of damage, turn himself into a stone, heal himself back up, Refresher, look to go in and commit all over again, and all the while Hugh is punching away, or slashing away with the sword. You've then got Unleashed, who is just going to be pumping out the magic damage. It has its Shivas on top of everything as well. So, I mean, realistically, this should be the beginning of the end. This is where the game should close out. If it stalls out again, I just don't know.
Have to wait and see, but bot lane is definitely going to be the call here. We're going to push this one out as a team, and Hugh, again, just so massive. Even looking to finish up the Aghanims next, which, I mean, if anything is going to close out this game, I think, you know, Hugh getting Aghanims is almost like a built-in end-the-game tool. You know, if his whole team is able to get a little bit of extra life after they die, thanks to the Wraith King Aghanims, then, I mean, they're probably going to be able to wash over the enemy team and not get caught out.
Reem almost entered his cheese there for a moment, but look, he's going to be able to join up with the rest of the team. He's slowly healing away, but he's only about half. If he is to go in and commit, he is going to have to burn the cheese. Not because he wants to. The deny does come in there at the last second from Billy the Brawler. the blink to just disjoint the stun, and with one rack separating this Wollongong team from Megas, I think it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, Reem is actually going to be kicking himself out to safety. Dawnbreaker with the ulti. Doesn't look like it's going to be doing all too much. He's actually in a bit of a precarious situation. Does pop the blink, looking for Billy the Brawler. In goes Reem for round 2, though, with that refresher shard like we talked about. And it is just going to be Homeless Degenerate kiting them around with these remnants the best he can. He's finally going to go down, though, but look at the magnetized damage. It is all over the battlefield, doing numbers. Gubala's in the back, though, with that BKB, looking to do as much damage as he can, but Reem and Hugh, the two massive frontline threats of this GIGACHADELAIDE lineup, still online and powerful, but they don't even need to keep chasing as the Raxes, they've gone down. Mega Creeps have arrived, and this is looking like it is GIGACHADELAIDE's signal to go.
I'm surprised that they pulled off when they did. They've lost one. They might lose another. It is a drop, but no. Degenerate's there ready to go.
Yeah, Hugh back for round 2, as we can see, looking to melt down Billy the Brawler's Aghanim's Ghost. Yes, indeed. And they've also found themselves Homeless Degenerate walking up a little bit too far. Kid against Hugh. I'll definitely take Hugh in that fight any day. Gubala has definitely brought back, though, looking to do all he can on this Templar Assassin to wave clear it out. The position 1 and position 2 of this lineup, the only surviving members. Stun forth from Hugh, pops the Swift Blink to finish him off. And now Gubala playing very cautiously, doesn't want to suffer the same fate. Does have Dispersion, though, if need be. In comes Reem, pops the Magnetize onto Gubala. The DOT's going to be doing so much at melting down these refraction stacks. Kid with a BKB to his name after he buys it back. No BKB available, though, to walk up. You have to walk into 4 members of GIGACHADELAIDE here as they wail down on your ancient towers. The creeps are there. The damage, it's just too much. Gubala looks to blink forward, looking to finish off Reem, but Hugh to the rescue. He's not even going to need to finish him off as the creeps are going to finish the job. GIGACHADELAIDE comes up huge with game 2.
It's amazing.
Again, I think a situation where the bet probably could have been closed out just a little bit earlier, but it's one of those situations. You want to stay in the upper bracket. You want to stay safe rather than potentially sorry. But there are a couple of interesting swings across the map. But you look at Hugh. Literally, from what the 17 odd minute mark was the one he never dropped below first place.
Yeah, certainly not. You look at the player net worth, he is just kind of a line of his own in this graph, quite literally. So far ahead, you can almost pinpoint the exact time that he got Radiance online and just skyrocketed so ahead of everybody else. Absolutely ridiculous, but I mean, well played to both teams here. UOW also grabbing themselves a cheeky teamfight win towards the end, but GIGACHADELAIDE in the end were the team to come out victorious. They are going to be the first ones in the entire upper bracket to make this a 1-1. And now we're going to be hopping into game 3, the decider, whether it's going to be a UOW or GIGACHADELAIDE advancing to the upper bracket finals. And yeah, definitely. We'll just have to stick around to find out exactly who that's going to be right here at AU Esports League Season 2 for our Uni League. We're going to throw it over to a quick break and we'll see you when we get back. And welcome back, folks, back to the Australian Esports League Uni League Season 2 for Dota. We're here in one of our upper bracket semi-matches between UOW Esports and GIGACHADELAIDE. The score currently tied up 1-1, and we are already in our pick and ban phase. Let's have a little look here. I'm Kadius, joined here on the casting desk by Blue Panda down there. And I'm excited to check out this next game. It's been close so far.
Yeah. Maybe things change up the pacing a little bit here in map 3, but at the moment, Ban's taking a very similar trajectory to the way they have in our first two maps. Tiny and Weaver. Now, we second banned for Wollongong maps 1 and 2, Bane being the first, but Conquer and Tiny. GIGACHADELAIDE's not deviating at all in their pacing so far, and the question is, do Wollongong go back to the Bane ban?
Dire team pick.
No, it's a Lion! Respect being paid.
Yeah, so you have to wonder if this is going to be Bane getting snagged away first here. It's been banned in Game 1, Game 2. We do know it's one that GIGACHADELAIDE does like. So whether or not they're just going to snag this one here has remained to be seen.
Where do we see things go? Monkey King, so GIGACHADELAIDE again, changing things up just a little bit. And Monkey King seeing a huge rise in presence in that pos 4 position, able to get around the map so quickly. Some big information as well as that setup with the boundless strike as well. Not to mention Jingu Master just being phenomenal in lane at that level 1 team fight situation. Now Wollongong, do we see? Well, we've seen that heavy man fight setup coming out of the map 2. Map 1, they played to somewhat to their objectives. They knew what they wanted to go. They wanted that sort of wombo team fight. Where do they go here in map 3?
Radiant team
Definitely remains to be seen. They're going to pick away the Hoodwink, though. I know that we've seen Andros pilot the Hoodwink to great success, so maybe UOW wanting to maybe take that one away for themselves, just making sure that if this Monkey King does decide to go towards the position 1 or the position 2,
10 seconds.
that they're not going to be able to grab themselves the Hoodwink as well. But, you know, Bane, again, a hero that's seen so much early presence in this ban phase, and he is through for the first time, and yet we're not seeing him get it picked up. So I have to wonder if UOW Esports may be wasting a ban in the first couple of games.
Potentially. Maybe it's something that they're planning to bring for themselves, but already we have a decent amount of setup from both sides. Wollongong with the Hoodwink, GIGACHADELAIDE with that Monkey King, and the Night Stalker, which traditionally for the last two maps has been banned out. Second phase is going to be let through, and Wollongong are going to make, capitalize on that and pick it up for themselves. And he has been, on the rise as well. One of those big beefy offlaners who can set up fights and set up kills.
Remaining.
And I would imagine this is probably going to that pos 3 position.
5 seconds.
Yeah, not really anywhere else you can play Night Stalker. We've seen Night Stalker 5, I think, once. And I can't remember how successful it was. I don't remember it being all too successful. But yeah, very typically is the position 3 role. Second bans here. That's going to be Viper picked up by GIGACHADELAIDE again. And, we've seen them play it as a 3. We know that Reem can definitely play it as a 2. So a lot of flexibility on this Viper amongst the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup. They're going to take away a Morphling as their first ban of the phase. And first ban of the second ban phase for UOW looking to be a...
Well, I mean, we've seen Morphling again consistently banned out. I think both teams at this stage have now banned it out between maps 1 and 2, but
Dire team
Phantom Lancer, yeah.
Radiant
Again, no
team
surprises. A
back.
quick answer back of the Bat Rider. So GIGACHADELAIDE still respecting Billy's pick of the Bat Rider, not wanting to go back onto it here in map 3. Although, again, I
Dire
imagine this
team
is probably Night Stalker for Billy. Slark quickly being taken away, and again, another pos 1 that hits like an absolute truck going into the late game, and would thrive with a Monkey King setup as well. Now GIGACHADELAIDE, they've got the final ban of the phase. Well, not final ban, they're final ban of this
10
phase.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely. You have to wonder if it's even worth putting all of this ban focus onto Hugh, because you did this last game, right? You put so much emphasis on trying to ban out every single one of Hugh's possible options. He picked Wraith King and had a tremendously successful game. So you have to be sitting in UOW's shoes here and wondering exactly what's going on if you're putting so many eggs into one basket and it's not even doing its job in the first place.
Ubala
10
targeted
seconds
as well with the Wind Ranger ban. He found a lot of success in that in map 1.
5 seconds.
Really
remaining.
ran away with things, and then they plateaued a bit, and then they finally got themselves over that hump and closed the map out. Final bit of the phase, University of Wollongong. Where do they look to prioritize here? Obviously, like you said, they don't really have a way to target at Hugh, so it looks like it is going to be Reem the target. And even then, you've got to wonder if it is worthwhile, given just how significant that showing was on Earth Spirit last game.
Yeah, I mean, they did like going for the Viper second pick, and then they kept the Lena for last pick there for Reem. Maybe just looking to want to take out that possibility altogether here. Could also show that maybe they want to go for the same sort of mid matchup that they went in game 1 that Reem was able to navigate so well with the Wind Ranger for Gubala. We'll have to wait and see. But nevertheless, what their picks are going to be here. Actually, no, Wind Ranger did just get banned out by GIGACHADELAIDE, so makes a lot of sense there. I suppose maybe the Wind Ranger was what was kind of stopping Reem's Lena from being successful in that one game. And then you ban out the Wind Ranger, and all of a sudden, you know, you want to make sure that you are not having to deal with the Lena without that Wind Ranger in front of it, so you ban it out in response. Either way, we'll see what UOW opt to pick here for their first pick of the second pick phase.
Maybe the stage you're looking, what, Pos 4 Hoodwink, probably a Pos 3 Night Stalker. What do they want to enable first is the question, obviously. Honestly, I wouldn't be too upset seeing Kid go back to the Juggernaut or something like that. He did have a pretty solid game, but a Groomstroke. It's a pick that a lot of SCA players are really liking at the moment. A lot of Southeast Asian teams are running the Groomstroke, and at the moment, with the lineup already, I could see this one definitely setting up Kid to have a lot of success in that offlane. Oh, sorry, safe lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, remains to be seen if,
5
you know,
seconds.
MBTW is going to be popping off on this Grimstroke, but, you know, it's certainly a decent hero when it comes to the ability to lock down things like the Monkey King, who does want to be casting his spells in a fight if he gets hit by the silence. It's definitely not that great. Sort of has a similar effect to Weaver with the bugs. You kind of just have to stop what you're doing and hit the silencing scroll until it goes away. And then however long the Grimstroke has while you're hitting the scroll, you're not going to be hitting him, so he can just trade into you for free during that time. So fairly decent, but, you know, having the ability to mass silence like that, especially silence 2 people when you use the ulti, is definitely going to be something that GIGACHADELAIDE have to think for here when it comes to drafting too many spellcasters.
Dire team pick.
Phoenix follow up as well, and immediately into the Chaos Knight, and they know exactly what they want to be doing here. GIGACHADELAIDE, they honestly, again, they're gearing themselves up for a pretty scary roster. Chaos Knight, if he gets the farm, he looks pretty beefy going the later stages, but then you've got the Supernova on top of it, the Neurotoxin, and obviously Wukong's command. So they're just setting themselves up to make it as miserable
5
as
seconds
possible
remaining.
should Wollongong look to try and fight and man up against the Chaos Knight. Wollongong, they might have to go a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in the last draft phase, right, we had Phantom Lancer, Slark, and Chaos Knight were the bans of choice. This time, opting not to go for the Chaos Knight ban, instead trying to take out Reem's Lena from game 1, and they've been hard punished with the Chaos Knight lock-in right away. It's going to give Grimstroke and Night Stalker a little bit of a hard time making sure that they are, you know, hitting the right target through the Phantasms. Hoodwink has a little bit of an easier time just because Bushwhack is AoE, but Drow Range are going to be the lock-in here, which I can definitely respect. Does do a pretty good job of keeping Chaos Knight off her with the silence, but, you know, whether or not she's going to be able to pop off is yet to be seen. But, I mean, she does outrange Phoenix and Viper, which is probably something that they're counting on here. I imagine that Drow Ranger was probably picked for the Viper, the ability to outrange the Viper's right clicks and try and melt him down from a distance is going to be something that's quite relevant, but, you know, it's certainly going to be very different from what Kid has played for the previous, you know, lot of the series. We saw him on Juggernaut, then we saw him on, you know, the Bloodseeker, and now the Drow. definitely very, very different. You know, you've got two sort of mid-game position 1 melee carries that come online fairly quickly, look to take over the game and close it out before the enemy position 1 is able to scale over them, which obviously we saw Hugh on the Wraith King was able to do last time. Drow Ranger, much more so looking to scale into the late game, get that heavy right-click damage, get those items, and become a late-game menace, putting out so much pressure from the backline. And, you know, you look at the GIGACHADELAIDE lineup, and they really do not have a lot of options on diving her in the back there, aside from maybe Monkey King setting up a great boundless strike. We'll have to wait and see.
10 seconds remaining.
Templar Assassin, Shadow Demon, and Void Spirit. So Templar Assassin, Void Spirit, and Shadow Demon and Earth Spirit banned out by GIGACHADELAIDE and University of Wollongong, respectively. So, again, respect being shown across the board. And Shadow Demon targeted away, obviously, with the Chaos Knight having the disruption. Just extra clones is never going to be a great time if you're a player from University of Wollongong. And this Drow, I mean, it could be a bit risky, especially if we see an effective gank get off, especially if GIGACHADELAIDEs are the ones to execute onto this Drow. I could see this one spiraling out of control rather quickly, but at the moment, you're looking probably like we are going for our pos 2s for both sides at the moment. GIGACHADELAIDE, it's going to be Mars, so no, it's okay. It is going to be the Viper in the mid lane in the hands of Reem with a Mars off lane. Okay, oh boy, that gets even scarier for Wollongong.
Yeah, so this does show that it's going to be either a Phoenix or a Monkey King 5, and normally, obviously, these are both kind of position 4s. They do fall on the greedier side for supports. They do like having a few items to themselves. Obviously, Phoenix, for a long time, was definitely favored for the Aghanims, but Puck is going to be the response lock-in for UOW Esports.
Oh, boy. Reem is big-brained it again.
Yeah, Reem, look, honestly, just very, very confusing where this man is going to be taking which hero on every single draft. I think he honestly just clicks at random, and whatever one he gets, that's what he takes mid. We'll have to wait and see, but again, yeah, this Viper is going to be going over to Unleashed up in the position 3. He's going to be landing with Homeless Degenerate on the Monkey King 4, and then Psycho, again, picking up Phoenix for the position 5 this game. But whether or not Gubala is going to get blindsided by that or not, thinking it was a position 2 Viper, we'll have to wait and see. One thing I'm a little concerned about is they definitely don't have any natural ways of easily diving the Drow Ranger. Icarus Dive, not really a very great tool for doing that. You can hit it with the Fiery Spirit, though, to slow down her attack speed. But I do think their main form of diving her in the backline here is going to be Mars blinking in with the Arena of Blood. So Kid is going to have to be very scared of that coming into this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of deterrent on both sides. So, I mean, realistically, if GIGACHADELAIDE are the ones to be making the plays, I think as soon as Reem does sort of get the Blink Dagger, if Homeless is the one up on the trees scouting out this Drow for Kid, 100% they can shut it down nice and early. They can take control of this map. But if Gubala gets some momentum, if he gets some freedom to farm up, get that Blink Dagger nice and early in the mid lane, I could quite as easily see it go the other way. As soon as GIGACHADELAIDE are the ones being engaged upon, they could lose out.
Certainly. Well, we'll have to wait and see if GIGACHADELAIDE have purchased a smoke, going for their tried and true level 1 strategy. I think they acknowledge that, you know, usually only works once, and they got, you know, the cheeky kill in the first game. Not going to go for it again. But Blue Panda, you know, before we hop into our game here, if we want to quickly mention our sponsors once again, that'd be absolutely lovely.
Yeah, time. Look, honestly, I could go for a cheeky iced coffee right about now. It's 1 o'clock here in New Zealand, so the energy's starting to fade a little bit. Look, you got to do what you got to do. Indomie, I got some in the cupboard. In fact, that's my dinner after I'm done here. So big shout out to our food sponsor, Indomie, keeping the uni students nice and fed throughout the competition. ROGR headset sponsors, AOC, the monitor sponsors. Honestly, I love my AOC monitor. I bought this one myself, so this is not like a promo or anything. I love it. It's the best monitor I've ever had. And if you're looking for a monitor, AOC should be your first stop. And our newest sponsors, Predator, coming in hard and fast. Superior gaming technology for the superior gamer.
Yeah, certainly. Yep. I mean, I can relate. I've also got a AOC monitor. I can vouch. This is something that I got long before having anything to do with the AEL. I've had this for a few years now, actually. I think I got it in 2016, 2017, and you know, still works as good as the day I got it, so can definitely vouch for that one. It was one of the cheaper 144 hertz monitors I was looking for. You know, I had upgraded my PC. I was like, nice, I can play games in like 144 frames now, but I had a 60 hertz monitor. I was like, all right, I'll get a higher refresh monitor. I'm looking for one that's nice and cheap, 144 hertz, 1 millisecond response time, good colors. And, you know, AOC had a monitor that just so happened to fit the bill. I grabbed it and honestly have not been disappointed. So, you know, that's just my own personal, genuine experience, like, has nothing to do with the sponsors, so I can definitely vouch for them.
Yeah, look, same thing. I upgraded my PC. I may have been influenced to research AOC, given that they're a sponsor that I've worked with, but no regrets whatsoever in picking this one up. At the moment, though, heading to lane, nothing crazy, nothing untoward's happening, but Reem picking up the Mars in the mid lane. But realistically, there shouldn't be an overwhelming amount of kill pressure. We do see the illusory orb there, so they should be able to trade damage back and forth, but realistically, the likelihood of a kill is pretty low.
Certainly, we're just going to be seeing a little bit of back and forth. As we know, you know, these Night Stalker lanes are usually very passive for the first 5 minutes, and then, you know, that's when things really start to kick off, is when nighttime first hits. Billy the Brawler is probably going to get quite aggressive onto Hugh. Chaos Knight, not a very relevant hero until he gets his items online, so that is going to be their big time to strike. As for the mid lane, your thoughts here in the Mars Puck matchup? I'm sure this is one you've seen plenty of.
My thanks.
I can't say that for sure, but what I do know is in the top side, a big aggression from both sides. That was a pretty cheeky bushwhack onto both Hugh and Psycho. And it's making this lane a little bit rough. I think that's going to be the case. All three lanes are going to be probably, you know, just absolute smash at each other in the face type lanes.
It remains to be seen, but you know, either way, at least Kubala does have a great way of getting out of Arena of Blood, if that is the call. You can use the illusory orb to get on out of there, but my goodness, this top lane aggression, you weren't joking. Psycho picking up a cheeky first blood onto MBTW, the very squishy hoodwink, stepping up a little bit too far.
Power of the Fire Spirits, and Billy might get himself... Actually, no, he's pretty beefy. The realistic situation is he's probably going to be able to tank it. We might see that bushwhack come into play again.
Certainly will. Psycho looking to pop the Icarus dive to get him out to safety, but Hugh chasing down Billy the Brawler with these right clicks, not able to have the damage to finish him off though, unfortunately. Has the salve to keep him nice and topped.
Yeah, look, I think MBTW didn't expect to go down himself, but that's sort of what happens. You're a hoodwink, you're not the beefiest of operators in a lane at any situation. Mid lane, at the moment, Reem, look, is honestly a very, very solid job, leading the last hits. Kubala desperately trying to keep up where he can. Already we start to see that level disparity come into play.
It certainly is, and I gotta say, Homeless Degenerate queuing up the Mage Slayer first here in the quick buy. Just certainly an interesting one to see.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
I mean, it's not that crazy. Yeah, this is sort of what we expected. Sniping away the courier with the bottle on it. Divine Llama. That is absolutely, yeah, I mean, to watch that, you're meant to be securing runes, you can't fight. I hope the Genius does find that kill on the kid as well, while Devi was clearing out woods. I mean, Devi is probably going to be questioning as to why Kubala was so deep in the enemy jungle, and as to why the bottle did go down the way it did, but that's just going to make things so much easier for Reem now.
Yeah, with no bottle on Gubala for the next minute, Reem is going to be able to really abuse the health and mana lead that he's been given. Try and push that out with, you know, next runes spawning in about 10 seconds. I would imagine he's going to try and push out this wave the best he can. He does have the advantage of creeps right here, and he will be the one that's able to move first. Going to be running down towards the bot side here, pick up this water rune. And again, he has a bottle to make use of it as well, so this is going to be a very big swing. Gubala only going to be grabbing the water rune stats for himself, not going to be able to grab those juicy bottle recharges at the same time.
I mean, Reem is just God's rebuke into the spear. Gubala is, yeah, he's feeling the hurt right now. I mean, it's really the case around the map. University of Wollongong are just feeling the pain. Kubala, this bottle has cost him already. Like, he's died but not only that, Reem has now hit 6. The bottle's in play. You need some intervention in the mid lane.
What? That was a lot of damage in one Q.
Jingu mastery, baby. That's the power of the Jingu with the Boundless Strike setup. And honestly, Unleashed with the 2 points in poison attack, getting those stacks up, that's exactly what killed Divine Llama not too long ago. Now Kid is the one that's felt the wrath. Oh boy.
I mean, Billy the Brawler is at nighttime, looking to maybe get some hurt down onto Hugh and Psycho. But he might actually be the one to get taken down here. Icarus Dive is going to connect onto him. The burn is ticking. Hugh, unfortunately not any spells to finish the kill.
But the big problem already, Wollongong. Gubala just got back to the lane. He's died. He is now less than half of the farm that Reem has. Reem 36 to 10. Gubala 17 and 1 right now. Any chance at last it's been tonight? He's had to walk back to lane. He's still only got the Null Talisman in the bottle right now.
Radiant's bottom tower
Any
is under
time
attack.
Gubala steps in a lane with that Arena of Blood available, he's dead. There's just nothing. There's nothing he can do. He hasn't even got the Dream Call to try and deny that aggression.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Puck at least is that even if Puck is very behind, still relevant in fights. Does not matter how far behind Puck is, still will always be relevant in fights with that Dream Coil. Also being very annoying to kill, but, you know, I gotta say, this dire safe lane is just absolutely belligerent. Constant fighting between both sides, and honestly, how even it is, I'm surprised. There's not been many deaths at all.
Alright, so far away from marksmanship as well. Like, Gubala is just, it's compounding loss. TP though to the top side with the Dream Coil available, and the Invis rune, they're looking to go into Hugh.
He does have Dream Coil. Hugh has no clue what's about to hit him. Dream Coil connects onto both. The Illusory Orb nuke coming down, and Hugh and Absolute Psycho getting a one-way trip back to the fountain.
Reem looking forward of his own, Arena of Blood of the Kid, oh boy.
This is going to be a very, very dead Kid, I'm afraid. Arena of Blood is not fun to play against this Drow. We mentioned that in the, the draft phase. It's going to be something that he's going to have to watch out for consistently this game.
And that is phase boots done for Reem, and honestly, just look at him. He's having the greatest game of his life. A good 1100 clear of his next highest teammate, which is, well, the next highest person, which is his teammate Unleashed. 3600, happy as Larry, and he's straight back to lane. He's straight farming. He's straight bullying Gubala. He's got a 2-level lead on Gubala right now.
Yeah. I do love this new voice line that's being spammed. It makes me very happy the day that Dota 2 has a JoJo reference built into it.
Action Slacks is the people's hero in Dota 2.
Yeah, of course. He's an absolute chant because he's a JoJo fan.
Well, speaking of Chad, the GIGACHADELAIDEs are having a pretty solid start to the map here. They're looking for a big engage, looking to, well, Reem is the one looking to get out here. Does, and really no worse for wear, having picked up that rune as well.
Yeah, certainly not. MBTW going to be juking around in the trees, doing what Hoodwink does best, being a very annoying squirrel to kill. Homeless Degenerate is going to grab a vision of him, but decides to back away.
Look, it's probably the word best able to describe Hoodwink as slippery. They might look to turn it around though. Oh, Reem. Gubala is a punching bag right now.
Yeah, he is just massive on this Mars right here, just being an absolute menace, running around the map. He's got the clarity popping, looking to grab some mana as he comes in onto MBTW. The spear is going to connect. This is a very, very squishy position for, I'm afraid. He is able to grab himself a bit of distance, though. Live to see another tower, but it didn't cost Reem anything. He only walked up here and chucked his spear, and, it forced these rotations out. You've got Davai Lama up in the top side to prevent this dive.
I don't know if prevent the dive is the right situation. He's looking pretty bullied. That's the best way to describe it, I think.
Oh my goodness, 3-man stun is going to connect. Big Dream Core, though, does connect onto 2. Might be able to find himself a kill onto the Monkey King, or will he? The stun comes through from Dreamcore, might buy him barely enough time. No, Reem with the God's Rebuke is going to do fat damage. Finishes off MBTW. Gabala doing his best to kite around in the trees. In comes Billy the Brawler. The ultimate is there, but the damage from Reem is just all too much. Spear of Mars doing its best to bring down Billy the Brawler's health bar.
Hold on. What is this build for you? He's got 3 gloves of haste. I only just noticed this.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So he's going Hand of Midas, Armlet, and Power Treads?
A better question here is, how does Chaos Knight wear 3 gloves of haste? Does he wear 2 on one hand, like one over the other, or does he kind of like put one on his foot?
No, one on each hand and then one on his Demon Unicorn Swarm.
Oh, I see, I see. You're like one on the horn of the horse?
Yeah, Demon Unicorn. That's the one.
I see, I see.
Either way, Demon is probably the best way to describe Reem at the moment. Oh, Gubala, surely not! Oh, he's just gonna get himself out of there, but he almost died to Absolute Psycho, who is 3 levels down on him, mind you.
Yeah, Billy the Brawler's getting chased down here, kid. Coming in with the volley. They're gonna have Sharpshoot here to finish off You're Not... Ooh. They do see the monkey.
He's broken, but how broken is he? That's the question. He's gonna jump away. He's good for now.
Wukong's Commando available if they maybe want to turn this around with Reem. Wukong's Command plus Arena of Blood. Very scary combination of abilities. Maybe some of the best combination of abilities in all of Dota 2.
I think Kid is about to die. Boundless Strike into Arena of Blood. Yeah, there we go.
There it is. Arena is going to connect. Pops the Wukong's Command, and that is going to be a very, very dead Kid, I'm afraid. And honestly, Monkey King position 4, the funniest thing about him is he's almost like mental damage more than anything, because, you know, he pops Wukong's Command and you get scared. You're like, oh god, Wukong's Command, like, it's going to do so much damage. And then it doesn't, but, like, it makes you scared. So, because you're just used to it doing so much damage.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Caught out by the Viper Chaos Knight combo. And Gubala is currently 1-4, which is still better than Kid, who is 0-4.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It certainly is. You know, Reem, he's roamed around the map so much, so constantly, and yet he's still got the most last hits in the game compared to Kid, who has done nothing but farm,
Radiant's top tower has
and
fallen.
still behind in last hits. It makes you really wonder just how much better Reem is when it comes to farming.
Look at this Monkey King. Just, he is the ward. No concern. The courier. Okay, yeah, he's just going to micro it back out of the tree. Oh no, he's been spotted. He's going to have to jump himself down with the Primal Spring. Clears out the way, but there's really no one nearby that can take him down. Kubala, oh no, not again. Not again. He's going to Waiting Rift. Can he get away though? That's the question. Oh, it's close.
He's looking to try and get the Dream Coil to get himself some distance. In comes Billy the Brawler, though, does pop the ulti. Reem is going to be the first target to go down. 6 times kill streak is finally ended. Psycho also not going to be able to have the supernova popped, and that is going to be some signs of life for the UOW boys, grabbing themselves 2 kills.
Dire's middle tower.
GIGACHADELAIDE again, getting a bit overconfident in their play. Gubala this time might be the one to get a bit overconfident. Does he get spotted here? No, he's just going to get onto the rune, look to fill up that bottle, but no, actually the rune's a wee while away. What's he doing so deep into the enemy territory? He does have support, but again, we're getting to this. This is the question I have: is questionable plays, why are they happening? Because both teams are doing it.
Radiant's middle
Where will
tower
Monkey
is
go?
under attack.
On top of the tree. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We have the treads and the Hand of Midas completed for Hugh, who is probably just going to scale up to insanity now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this Chaos Knight, right? Is once he is able to get coming online, he's very, very scary. Normally the hero's weakness is that, you know, he doesn't have much of a lane phase, but somehow he was able to make it through relatively untouched. Most last hits in the game. We'll take a look at the net worth. He is pretty much even with Reem, who has had a monstrous game.
Interesting decision to push there in the mid lane.
Radiant's middle
I mean,
tower
look, they get
is
one
under
back.
attack.
MBTW falls, but
Radiant's middle
losing your
tower
mid laner
is
for a support is probably not the best trade to be taking. He as well having committed the Phantasm. Also, the Arena of Blood going down. I just... These little decisions that are being made are questionable, and it is costing them. You see it. That gold lead swinging once again. It's still a 6k in favour of GIGACHADELAIDE, but if they keep taking those questionable fights, it's going to dwindle pretty quick.
Radiant's bottom
Certainly
tower
will. We'll
is
just have to
under
wait
attack.
and see exactly how they decide to close this one out, because they definitely have the gold advantage, 5k in their favor. They're going to pop the smoke. Almost Degenerate looking to lead the charge. They do see Kubala.
The question is, do they see Kubala as a hero or as a creep at the moment? Because he's been farmed quite drastically so far this match.
Yeah, his net worth as the position 2 is currently lower than the position 3 and drastically lower than the position 1, which is not what you want to be seeing when you are a hero like Puck who can one-shot creep waves.
The crazier thing is it's only about, what, 700 higher than the POS 4 roaming Monkey King on the side of GIGACHADELAIDE, which is concerning.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, he has found out Gubala here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're looking for it. Reem, or
Dire's
he spots the
structures are
Roshan there.
fortified.
Billy, he's trying. He is committed to try and get the tier 1, but unfortunately Night Stalker with only the Echo Saber doesn't quite hit fast enough to take it down. The TP's coming in. Billy is
Dire's
more than
top
likely going to
tower is
die.
under attack.
Yeah, he is going to pop the ulti, try and fly into the trees here to TP away, and it does not look like they're going to find him. Great little bushwhack by MBTW, but an Arena of Blood is going to lock up Kid. Gubala gets out of there with the Illusory Orb. Whether or not Kid is going to live to see the tail is another story. He is getting smacked down. And there it is, the Spear of Mars from Reem to finish him off. Meanwhile, Billy the Brawler was shut down in the trees. They did manage to find him finally.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, Reem, despite a couple of throw plays, he's having a pretty good game. He's got the Yules online. He's hit some pretty stunning Arena of Bloods as well on top of everything. He's looking to rotate in, keep that mid-wave shoving in favour of GIGACHADELAIDE at the moment. But with Divine Llama, going to try and slow it out as much as possible with that Stroke of Fate. Pause coming through from the side of GIGACHADELAIDE as well. Last map, it was map issues. Now it's the lag. Downpours coming straight on through, as they are just going to be right back into it. Still keeping that gold lead. Pretty consistent around 6k.
Dire's top tower has been denied.
Reem just one-shotting creep waves like it's nothing.
He's Mars, baby, the god of war. That's what he does. He's got Arena up very soon.
Does look like
he does. He's got a ward. They know Gubala's here.
And they also know Billy the Brawler is waiting behind him, but it looks like they're just going to take the challenge to both of them. Boundless Strike is going to connect the stun. Gubala pops the Yules to buy himself a little bit of time. In comes the Wukong's Commando. Homeless Degenerate looking to smack him down with the Jingu Mastery. Billy the Brawler now is going to be next on the agenda. MBTW comes through with the TP onto the outpost, and Divine Llama has arrived. Maybe looking to turn this around with the numbers advantage. It does look like that's going to be the case. Reem is going to get taken down. Psycho maybe next on their agenda. Unleashed, though, quite the amount of damage he's unloading onto Billy the Brawler. As the rest of the GIGACHADELAIDE boys arrive, they make it impossible for UOW to turn this one around, picking up a quick and easy 3 kills. And it looks like Homeless Degenerate, he's not letting MPTW escape, he knows. And he's going to be chasing him down here. Boundless Strike is going to connect, the auto attacks to follow. Is going to live to see another day, though, scurrying away.
Oh no, Psycho has to commit the Supernova just to try and survive. It will be enough, given that Homeless Degenerate is nearby, but that's not quite an ultimate you want to be wasting in that situation.
Yeah, it looks like he might just die anyways. Gubala's going to come through. And yes, indeed, Divine Llama picking that one up.
Unlucky.
Radiant's middle
Big
tower is
unlucky,
under
but at the
attack.
moment, look, nothing hugely lost out of the side of GIGACHADELAIDE. You look at Unleashed, has the Dragon Lance, has the BOTs, and is working towards that BKB as well. Mage Slayer there for Homeless Degenerate, so is going to be absolutely loving that when he goes in for the commit. And Hugh, well, He's got the Handamitis, he's got the armor, he's just found himself 2 bounty runes as well, and he's working towards the Sanjin Yasha.
Yeah, the Mage Slayer is interesting. I mean, it does allow you to shut down spell damage with the Boundless Strike. Billy the Brawler is looking to chase him down here. They do find him with the Dream Coil. He's going to be leashed up, silenced up, and taken down. Nice little pickup for UOW. They immediately pop the smoke, looking for a second here, and BTW unfortunately going to be a little bit too far away to grab that one for himself. And they might run into Unleashed here. Yes, indeed. They are going to spot him out immediately. The collapse is there. The silences stacked on top of each other. Billy maybe going to grab this one. No, it's going to be Kid with the volley to finish him off, and they are just looking for more. It looks like Psycho going to be next on their agenda, but they have to watch out as Hugh has joined the fray. A great silence is going to stop Reem from coming in and spoiling things for themselves. But Hugh, the damage may just be too much at this stage. Bushwhack used to try and get himself a little bit of distance. He does have his spells off of cooldown, does pop them on MBTW, looking to melt down the poor little squirrel, and yes indeed, he's going to find himself going on a mega kill streak with a double kill. A stun connects with Boundless Strike onto Kid. They're trying to double team him down. Triple kill for Hugh, he's unstoppable. Gubala has to watch out. He does have the Invis rune, but might have popped out at a bad time, actually. No, does take the Illusory Orb away, disjoining the stun from Hugh. Very nicely played. This is GIGACHADELAIDE coming up once again ahead in these fights.
Now, before Unleashed got engaged, I was about to say, I don't know if it was worth it committing the Dream Coil and the Dark Ascension there for the kill. They then fight Unleashed, and then they get absolutely turned around on it. In fact, it's going to be almost a full 5-man wipe. A very extended one, but a full 5-man wipe nonetheless. And yeah, look, that's Ultimate's wasted, and that is a huge comeback. And that 6k gold lead is now a 9k gold lead at the 21-minute mark.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Certainly is. We do see, you know, very, very poor supports here. Basically nothing but boots and wards on both the position 4 and the position 5 of this UOW lineup. Whereas you look at Phoenix, you look at Monkey King, you know, they got items behind them. You know, they're eating well. And, you know, no wards on Monkey King, obviously, because he is the ward, but items on both. You know, Phoenix having the 4-staff, Monkey King with the Mage Slayer and the Orb of Corrosion.
I mean, you look at Phoenix getting that much closer to the second Yules. Blink Dagger up and available for Reem. Again, it's just everything is coming up. GIGACHADELAIDE, they're playing this game so very, very well. And Hugh, I mean, the guy is just committed to being a position 1. If he's not fighting, he's farming, he's playing the map. He's not letting that GPM drop.
Yeah, certainly not. And you can tell how confident he is in this game by the fact that he went Yasha first instead of Sanj. You know, Sanj first would imply that, you know, you're looking to fight, you need to tank up, you need to do this, you need to do that. You need to be able to survive a little bit more, right? But like Yasha, you buy this for the movement speed, right? 8% movement speed is just going to allow you to move around the map and farm just that little bit faster. You're going to be able to just go from point A to point B, from wave to wave, just a little bit extra, just increase your GPM that tiny little bit more. So that's just shows how comfortable he is right now in this game. Is going to pop the Phantasms though as the fight's breaking out. First target to go down is going to be Kid with the Wukong's command dropped on top of his head. They're going to find Davai Lama as well, kiting away in the trees. Reem is in the back line though. He is silenced for now, but when he comes out of it, I can't imagine he's not going to unleash pain. Is going to whiff the spear just a little bit wide though. Now he is on the run. Billy as well over the trees with the ultimate, and it's just a matter of GIGACHADELAIDE running down these members. Gubala looking to be next on the agenda, as Hugh finds himself going on a double kill monster streak right now, and BTW has to watch out. That's 2 auto attacks dropped from Unleashed, and it's almost going to be enough to melt him down to death. So much damage on this Viper right now, but really, Gubala getting solo killed just about by the position 4 Homeless Degenerate.
Well, again, another fight that is going to extend that lead for the side of GIGACHADELAIDE now to double digits, well, 5 digits, as it is a 2-for-4 trade in the end with a buyback on top of it. 10k gold lead at the 24-minute mark, 29 kills to 15, and unfortunately, really no closer to getting that Agnums, unfortunately, with Hugh being dead. He's probably their best bet at getting that under the belt for them, but I mean, just leads upon leads upon leads at the moment. You look at it, Unleashed very near to the BKB. They are closing in on some big items as well on top. I mean, you look at that, the second BKB queued up there in the hands of Reem. And they're just lining up the BKBs. That's their next objective. That's their win condition now.
It certainly is. I mean, Gubala. Dream Coil available if need be, but we'll see what he decides to do with it. Meanwhile, down in the bot side, we do have Homeless Degenerate pushing up with Reem, doing what Monkey King does best, being a scout on the trees.
I mean, honestly, Homeless Degenerate has been so great at scouting. Oh no, Invisor, Gubala. No, Gubala, please.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tasty pickup for Unleash by the looks of things. Does have the Viper Strike available.
How has Gubala almost escaped this?
Not too sure. It's actually going to be Billy the Brawler who gets taken down first. Gubala is going to escape to the trees. No TP to his name for a few seconds at least.
How has he gotten away with that? Like, he was on death's door. They were gearing up to go for the engage. He walks out. Billy walks forward. And off the back of that, they're going to look to pull the trigger onto this Roshan. GIGACHADELAIDE want to get that in the hands of you. They want to beef him up even hard. Make him even more difficult to kill. Honestly, this game is an interesting one.
He's actually gone and pushed out another wave, which is interesting. I'm gonna just wait in the trees right here. Wait it out. Reem and Hugh are on Roshan, so he doesn't have to worry about those too much. He's just trying to push out these waves at the moment. He's just gonna illusory or back into the trees, TP back to safety. But nevertheless, Hugh and Reem looking to go pretty uncontested with this Roshan. That's gonna be a nice little swing for them in the XP department, as well as grabbing that juicy Aegis for Hugh.
Okay, look, he's got to decide what he wants to keep. It's going to be the bracer that goes into the backpack, but you look at that. Hugh is now even harder to kill. He's also, what, the highest level in the server right now. Just sitting... You know, actually, no. Unleash is doing a pretty good job of keeping up with him. He's close in the last hits as well, but... I mean, there are tools available for Wollongong. They could actually turn this around. It's going to be hard. They need to land like the dream coil of their dreams. They need to get the perfect gust as well. And well, Kid has to hit targets. And the arena going down. That could be costly.
That's unfortunate. Definitely is unfortunate. Not something you generally want to see.
That's like their primary initiation at the moment. Hugh just face tanking a bit of damage there. Dark Ascension to go in.
Yeah, they are looking to fight this one out. Gubala and Billy the Brawler maybe not in a great spot. And they're not even going to get a chance to blow their abilities there as the CC, the damage, it's all too much. MBTW running with as much might as those squirrel legs can take him, trying to pop the TP to get himself out to safety. And yes, indeed, unfortunately, Psycho not able to use him in time. Just clicks the Yules on himself. They're just going to walk over this high ground, though. They find Kid, they find Davai Lama, and they're going to look for this mid lane tier 2 as well.
The Psycho Yules himself because of the Glimmer Cape there. Unfortunately, seeing is part of the, you know, the main setup for a Yules, and unfortunately, with EBTW having the Glimmer Cape, last second pop as he's TPing out keeps him able to do that. Unfortunately, there is limited resistance in this tier 3.
That's going to be the Aegis popped for Hugh. Puts the Ogre Club back into his backpack, and now here he is for round 2. And again, this is GIGACHADELAIDE playing the slow game, but it's because they're allowed to. They have, you know, Chaos Knight, Hyperscale position 1, as well as a Viper, Monkey King, who, you know, is position 4, but if the game goes ultra late and he's allowed to get these items online, is going to be a menace. Once he gets that basher going, Wukong's command is going to suddenly become very scary, as you're faced with all of these Wukong clones that can bash you.
Rapidly, you know, approaching that point. And the engage is there. Oh no, Billy. Billy could be dead. Oh,
yeah, they might have found Billy the Brawler. No ultimate available to retreat into the trees. He's just going to be smacked down by Reem. Boundless Strike is there with the Jingu Mastery. So much damage coming out of Homeless Degenerate right now.
I mean, the buyback's there, so it's not the end of the world, but it is still pretty rough, and Gubala has been spotted. Homeless Degenerate with the Boundless Strike. That's the blink, that's the silence as well. Okay, so it's going to be that much harder. He jumps down. He's got the Jingu. Oh, boy.
Does pop the Yules to buy himself a couple seconds of time. Arena of Blood comes through from Reem. Nice and quick and easy pickup onto Gubala. A taste that he's been very familiar with this game. They actually do find Davai Lama, but no cancel on the TP just yet. He's going to live to see another day. Very nice to see.
Gubala is currently 4-9-9, which is not at all what you want to be seeing out of your puck in the mid lane. And every single time we see him go down, I think it's almost a 3-to-1 situation where he dies with the ultimate in pocket. They're going to keep forcing in the mid lane. Phantasm out as well, hit with the bushwhack, but they've still got enough in the back line to deter the contest.
Yeah, no Arena of Blood for about 40 seconds here from Reem, so that means that kid is probably safe walking up. Unless that happens, that's not great. Does have to watch out and be nice and careful. He's getting hit by the Boundless Strike. The Viper Strike, yeah, he is just as a dead kid. Meanwhile, Hugh also basically just one-shot MBTW, the insta buyback coming through from the Squirrel. I'm going to chuck out that Bushwhack.
Hugh doesn't know whether to commit or not, but decides better of it for now. Never mind, they engage.
Yeah, in goes Billy. BKB's popped immediately on 3 players here in the fight. Billy the Brawler going to have to back away, though, as that was a massive egg from Psycho. And there's the Arena of Blood. He's going to pop it basically just a solo kill Gubala. Trying to look for Kid now, but the Yules comes through to give himself a little bit of space to himself. There's the Dream Coil. Stun is going to connect onto Hugh. He is very low in this fight. One more attack will do the trick. Yes, Gubala ending his mega kill streak. That's definitely what they need in this fight. It is going to cost him his life, though, as Billy the Brawler very, very low, kiting around the outskirts of this fight right now.
Yeah. Look, the GG call, I can understand it. Yeah, they've had it up. They've been playing for, what, 3 hours almost. I think that was the third death in a row for Gubala where he still had the Dream Coil available. He only then popped it after the buyback. But yeah, I think, unfortunately for University of Wollongong, they're a bit tired. But for GIGACHADELAIDE, the reverse sweep coming out tonight.
The reverse sweep indeed. Congratulations to GIGACHADELAIDE. They are going to advance all the way in the upper bracket. They are going to be meeting UQ Ultimate Chads in the winners finals. And Panda, I can't remember if it was you that I was telling you about, but I remember all the way back in like the start of group stage, I remember saying, I really hope in the knockout stage we get the GIGACHADELAIDE versus Ultimate Chad matchup, and that's exactly what our winners bracket finals is going to look like, and one of those teams is going to be moving on to grand finals, so definitely is going to be a Chadley grand finals to say the least, so that's going to be an exciting one to watch out for. But what a series this has been. GIGACHADELAIDE looked a little bit shaky in game 1, but they certainly more than brought it back in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, they showed some amazing resilience, able to bring it back time after time. You know, map 2, it still was pretty drawn out. Map 3, they took charge from the very start. I mean, Reem, as soon as Gubala lost his bottle on the courier, the lane was over. Reem was in charge and knew that he could just continuously solo kill him because he could outsustain. Had the massive CS lead. I mean, he was up 34-10 to the 36-10 actually to one point at Gubala's 17-1. So that was sort of the downhill roll where it all kicked off.
Certainly is. You gotta look at the stats here and wonder. I'm not too sure what this win probability spike is here at the start in favor of UOW. Despite like being at a golden XP deficit. That's interesting. But nevertheless, definitely very, very well played. You can look at the scoreboard here. Very sad game for Gubala, 5-11-9 on this puck mid. Whereas, Reem, again, 8-4-14 on Mars. Brilliant game. Hugh, 13-3-7. Definitely very, very dominant. You have to wonder whether or not this was, again, just GIGACHADELAIDE's creativity being their major boon in this series as, you're looking at that lineup, you're like, yes, Viper mid, Mars position 3. I'll pick the Puck into the Viper. But you weren't picking Puck into Viper, you were picking Puck into Mars. And unfortunately, Mars is a character that can just lock down Puck and one-shot her. So, not the greatest of matchups, I'm afraid. And Reem definitely taking advantage of his massive hero Ocean in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the flexibility is what won on the day. The ability, we saw that a couple of times in the drafts. GIGACHADELAIDE were able to pivot on a dime, seeing a pick come through. They said, okay, we're going to go this way. Instead, Reem, Earth, Spirit, and Mars to close out the series, which is pretty phenomenal, in all honesty, being able to pick up wins on both those heroes to reverse sweep a series. So, look, you got to respect it, and hopefully, you know, their opponents in the upcoming series respects that as well, because otherwise we could see another GIGACHADELAIDE's victory.
Certainly. Well, Panda, if you want to give us one last beautiful mention of the wonderful sponsors that are bringing us the AEL Uni League Season 2 and brought us this wonderful series.
Well, simple, plain, it's Chatime. You know, get behind them, especially going into the spring and summer months. It's going to be hot. Get yourself some tasty iced tea drinks. The new range coming out to stores near you soon. Indomie keeping the troops fed. I'm going to be heading out and making me a bowl as soon as the broadcast is done. AOC, our monitor sponsors. I'm watching all of the action on mine. It's pretty clean. It's pretty sweet. Make sure you look there first if you're looking for a new monitor. ROG, superior audio quality in the headsets. They should be your first bet as well. And obviously the newest sponsor, Predator Gaming. Superior gaming technology for superior gamers.
Certainly is. Well, folks, if you want to catch all the action, make sure you stay nice and tuned to all of the Australian esports socials. You can find them at AU Esports League over on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. And as well as that on Twitch at AEL Uni and AEL Uni 2. As well as that, you can also check out our wonderful Twitters down here, right below our faces, to catch what we're up to. And until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. What a great series. Congratulations to GIGACHADELAIDE. And of course, I'm sure this won't be the last we see of UOW as they make their way through the losers bracket, but we'll just have to wait and see until next time. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you then.